wrong thing into the wrong thing. Anyone who's built a PC knows that. It's just,
Yep.
it all matches. Yeah, see, Tyler got me. What I didn't know was that the connections that go into the power supply, even though they have the same pin shapes, and you can only put motherboard pins into motherboard connectors, they don't power the pins the same. So some manufacturers will have round pins that are powered and square pins that are grounded, and some will have it the exact opposite. So basically, I plugged in this new power supply that wasn't wired the same way as my old one, and I flicked it on, and nothing was happening. And I was like, shit, my power supply's dead. I can't believe it. So I was talking to Cryptic, and I was like, yeah, I might have to mail it back all the way to Arizona. We'll have to figure it out. And he sent me like the code and everything.
Dude,
and
he was stressing.
I know, I was
stressing
too.
out about that. We're in the car like, oh my God.
I didn't want to do it. But but I looked at this thing. It's like, hey, before you throw your power supply out, do a paperclip test on it. I was like, okay, what's that? So it turns out there's pins on your on the standardized side of the connector, because of course it's not on the powered pin side, but it's on the standardized side. That's the same for everyone. There's 2 pins. There's a power and a ground, and when you connect them, and you flick the switch, it'll send like a send and receive signal to say that yes, there's a motherboard connected, and if your power supply sees that, it's supposed to turn the fans on. So I figured, okay, I'll test it and see if the fans go on. So I took my paper clip and I stuck it in the pins, and I flicked it on, and it starts working. Like the fan starts spinning. And I was like, wait, so it's not dead? So that's when I Snapchatted Cryptic, and I was like, hey, so I got this power supply. It works with the paperclip test, but it doesn't work with my rig. What's going on? And he was like, please tell me you didn't use thermal tape connectors on your gigabyte power supply. And I was like, I did do that. And he was like, okay, take it all out and see if it still turns on. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Literally,
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, he got off the phone with you and he was like, I think he fried his computer. And I was like, no.
I was so stressed. I was like,
yeah,
oh my
so
God.
was he.
The reason I wasn't as stressed was because I know on like newer components, they have a way where if the wrong voltage gets set to the wrong place, it'll send like a stop signal. Like some of them.
It's a voltage switch.
Yeah, it'll send like a signal that stops taking in voltage, which I think is what was happening. But anyway, so I had to take all of my I had like a really nice wired setup and everything, and my computer was so clean. I had to take out all of my powered connectors that go to the PSU, everything. I had to rip it all out and put it all back in with these new connectors. And of course, everything works fine, as expected. But like, I'm just mad because why is one end of a power supply for your computer standardized for every single piece of equipment that you have in there, but the other end, the pin side that goes into the modular piece, even though it fits in a peg size, like it has to all be the same pegs, so it's already standardized in what ports it fits into. Why are the ports different? That doesn't make any sense.
Because everything was made in a different country, except for that one part was made in America. In America, we do things different.
It blows my mind. No, I'm saying like even the connections that go to like your GPUs, all GPUs have the same power connectors, but not all power supplies have the same power connectors. It makes no sense. I'm mad about it.
Messi, are we gonna get to see your beautiful face and scrawny arms and a wife beater?
Wait, you don't like my cigarette and mustache?
No.
The answer to that, Messi, money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll switch back to my face cam for money.
For money?
For money.
Oh man!
I want 5 gold pieces delivered to Elijah immediately.
Oh, hold on, to Elijah or to?
Yeah.
What's
to Elijah.
What's the other one's name? Can somebody else remind me what the other one's name is?
No one tell him. his name's Deez.
Yeah.
Jaundice.
Jaundice. Thank you.
Fuck, dude! I can't believe you did that.
Thank you, Rosin.
All right. Well, goodbye, everybody. VTuber going away. Goodbye.
I actually didn't say that.
Wait, that's my left
I
hand.
said
Goodbye.
jaundice because it rhymed.
But I pronounce my J's as you know.
Okay, I'm turning it off. Goodbye.
Like I want a yob. That's how I pronounce my J's. All right. we have an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or some such trying to. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. Hi, Messi.
I only have half my lights on. Hold on, I gotta fucking finish turning all this shit on.
Rena, it's funny.
How are you? Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was gonna say it's funny that the camera that you're using, because it's probably just like a native camera to whatever device you're on, is like a square. It's like a 3x4 instead of a.
Yeah, it's a Logitech.
It's the settings on the camera.
It's Cryptic. It's just I didn't.
Cryptic?
It's Cryptic's.
It's just
That
so
belongs to him.
That's Cryptic's eye?
What is that?
He's a computer?
Oh, there we go.
Yo, what if
there.
Cryptic was
That
an AI?
It completely changed the proportions of your of like your face and everything, which is just funny. I was like,
I didn't change anything. I just kind of hopped on and was like, hurry. Like trying to get this set up.
You're good, but
I was cooking.
does Cryptic usually sit in and use those kind of proportions or whatever?
No, it's the desktop. It defaulted to that when we plugged it in. So we brought his webcam and his mic. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
as crisp as usual. I mean, I would say no. Your usual mic is better, but you sound perfectly fine. You sound better.
It's
than
funny because this is the same mic, essentially.
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah, it's also a Blue Yeti. It's just we have a
your
pop
gain
filter
down,
on
maybe?
it.
It's not
The
pretty.
settings are
yeah,
different.
turn the gain down
Yeah.
a little bit, maybe.
Is it too
I was
high?
just-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say
No, Rita, you sound perfectly fine.
I was just gonna say we can hear the AC, which means that if anyone near you talks, we'll be able to hear it, like even outside the walls.
It's the computer, which is so funny that you
Oh,
say
the
that.
computer fans.
It's
Oh,
the
okay.
computer fans. It's
Yeah,
because
so-
it's his old computer.
This computer's
Yeah.
like, this is too much work.
Is that better?
Do you have,
Is that too much?
You have
Yeah,
roll
that's fair.
20. You have roll 20 turned on, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, okay, roll 20 is a machine. Like
Yeah,
old
honestly.
computers, you turn a roll
a
20. I turn a roll 20 on my laptop. It's a MacBook from 2012, which is like they were quality when they were made. But I want to say in the past, say like 8-9 months or so since roll 20 had a big update. Anytime
Yeah.
I turn it on, within like 3 minutes, the bottom of my computer is literally hot to touch.
You're like, oh, look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. But anyways, so what do you say we there's actually Josh, are you still? Yeah, Josh is still here. Cool. Josh, what is it that we turned off to make roll 20 or I should say Chrome so much less heavy loading so that it beat up your computer significantly less? Because Rena might want to do that and then we could jump into the game. That way she doesn't have to worry about like hurting her in-laws computer.
I found it.
I'm not sure what he's talking about. I was talking to
showing
Josh.
you. Hold on, I'm walking over. Okay, here's my old power supply.
Oh God. Okay. Here we
You
go.
see this right here, this connector.
That's
Okay,
a huge
so
power supply. Holy shit.
yeah, it's a 750 watt. It's got
By that,
regular-
you have tiny hands.
I got regular fucking sized hands.
That's
fuck?
huge.
What the hell's wrong with you, Scott? Okay, so this connection, I hope you can see this. You can see how some of them are square and some of them are rounded at the
We
top there, right?
can't,
Yeah.
but yes.
Well, you can kind of see it, right? From the top. Here, I'm back.
The camera's focusing on you.
Like that?
Yeah, okay, now I can. Yep.
Okay, so some are square and some are rounded. So it fits into that's the side. It fits into these ports down here. You can see some are square and some are rounded. It's hard to see. I don't know how to get the light right. Maybe like that. Anyway, so it plugs in like this. Like it just straight up, it goes in and it snaps, right? So all these pins are different on every single power supply. That makes no fucking sense. Why even have it measured out with sizes if all the pins are going to be different anyway? And then these connectors are the same on the other end. So they power the same pins on this end. It's literally just this one piece that almost blew up my computer. This little plastic shit. Everything else worked. Okay,
Well,
I'm going to put it away now.
Get good. Rena, did you see what Josh said in chat?
I see that, but I don't know where am I going to change that. Just in general,
so-
in the settings of my browser, or
Two things. One, in Zoom, under your audio settings, turn off automatically adjust my volume, because that's what's actually affecting your volume. Is making you go high and low.
okay.
Did you adjust that? Did you click that?
Yeah.
button? Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I did.
That'll clean you up a bunch. And then number two, under settings. So in Chrome, you press settings, and then you press, I think it's under advanced, and then system. And then the second thing down should be use hardware acceleration available. Click that off.
Okay. Yep. I
And-
see that.
And then if you refresh your browser or close the browser, whatever it is, that should make it so your computer is a lot less abused by Roll20. Okay.
I'm refreshing. All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just because I don't want your in-laws' computer getting beat up over playing a fucking game of D&D. All right, cool.
Last thing, if you don't mind, before we start.
And I hope I hope Crip's family is doing well. So
Thank you.
Send condolences from the whole community.
I will.
Absolutely. All right, Messy.
All
What
right,
unimportant thing
last
were you going to
thing.
distract us with?
Yeah, last thing. So I had prior to getting this 38, I had a 2070 Mini, right? So this is the 2070 Mini. It's a 2-fan GPU.
Yeah.
It looks like kind of regular sized, right? Okay.
How much was the one that you just bought?
So then I bought the new one, and
How much was it?
so then I bought the new one,
Rena,
and
how much was it?
this is the box. This is the box.
What if
that
I want to
came-
buy one?
Oh, Rena has
You're
the
not
same
gonna
thing.
buy one.
Yeah, they're not on sale. You can't get them. So
Rena, how much are they?
Okay.
DM me.
yeah, we'll DM you. That's better. So this is the box of the new one with the old one in it. That's the size difference.
Can that fit in there? Will that fit in my tower? Jesus Christ.
It's a whole macaroni and cheese pizza here. Like this GPU is barely bigger than half.
I think it'll fit, but it'll take up. It's like the entire length of the tower.
Yeah,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
a big 3-fan. So if your GPU has 3 fans in it, it'll probably go a couple
I have
inches
the
past that.
1080, so I think it's a 2-fan currently, but it's like your 2-fan is a lot more compact than mine.
Maybe, yeah.
So I want to say it's about a third of a fan larger than what mine is. Yeah, I want to say it's like adding a solid 2 inches on, which nobody would complain
Yeah.
about, right?
Yeah,
So-
no, of course not, brother. Yeah, yeah. So also it weighs 5 pounds. So I was
Holy shit.
yeah, I was considering getting a brace for it, but it's holding up. I just got 2 screws in there. It's fine. 2 screws and a PCI connection. It's fine. It'll hold it. Anyway, Hey.
So Rita, did you DM? Oh, you did. Hold on, I want to look at this price.
I'll tell you how much I paid for it.
Wait, I want to see that.
Okay, I'll just say how much.
Honestly,
I'll say how much.
That's I'm never gonna be able to convince my
With shipping, it cost me about
Rena, can you send me?
it cost me about
I can.
a grand 50 with shipping. But it came with a power supply. So it was the power supply and the GPU. It cost me about a grand 50.
well, coming with the power supply is good, but that's probably because it needs the additional power supply. So.
Yeah, it does. And also there is a GPU and power supply shortage. So the fact that I was able to get both is a great deal. Love it.
I wonder.
I'm just impressed you got the power supply to work.
I wonder if my power supply would actually be.
Not like that.
I wonder if my power supply would be able to handle it. I assume not, but
It has to be a 750 watt or higher.
I'm not going to open my computer right now, and you can't just see that by checking diagnostics. I would have to actually look at the physical device. to
There
know.
might be a way, but yeah, probably.
You
not.
can see it via diagnostics.
Oh, you
All right.
can?
Well, if you want to tell me how via text, Messy, I'll look it up while we're playing. But let's not
Yeah,
distract from
I'll
the
find it.
actual game anymore.
What game? Oh yeah, sure.
Oh,
Well,
you
I
mean
mean-
nap time?
Well, I mean, we do still technically have 22 minutes of podcast, or we
All
can
right,
actually
nap
play the
time.
game.
I'm down. Nap time.
All right, 22 minutes of nap time.
See,
We all
Tyler,
have to be
th-
really quiet while he sleeps.
Tyler, this is why you need to start drinking decaf coffee. Because obviously you can't have caffeinated. I understand what the kid needs or whatever, but decaf has enough caffeine to give you that little that you need. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is like, why didn't he take the blue pill? You know what I'm saying? But drop a pin in it right here. Like
Sorry,
Arnold just
Scott.
said.
I don't need any blue pills. Mine still gets up on its own.
Yeah. Well, I mean, duh. We're not as old as Josh. It's okay. It's okay. Josh's doesn't work anymore. Don't talk to him about it. It's a very sore subject. So, back to the game, or into the game.
What?
We last left off with your characters having traveled into Yovance, so, along the border, along Paradel, through a very, very heavily guarded area. Eventually, with a bunch of deception checks and having to teleport away and probably causing an issue. Rena, that looked yummy. Having to cause some sort of, she's like, I know I cooked it. Having to cause whatever issues along the border. Who knows whatever mess you left behind there. Traveling around a dead lake and into actual Malta. In Malta, you guys realized it is very different than anywhere you would have traveled through at this point. You don't feel any danger on the road whatsoever. Feel no threat, no concern. The place is legitimately secure. You travel through all of Malta to its capital city, uninhibited. It's genuinely mind-blowing. It's like if you were to be in a modern any nation, well, not any nation, but pick a nation today, right? It's you could just travel openly without any concerns for your genuine safety in your car or whatever it might be. So as you guys go into the capital city, and I described kind of like the contrast of what it was as Elijah knew it growing up to what it is, you guys eventually made your way to the castle, had the appropriate arrangements made for you to sleep, and then even got to have a meeting with one of the leadership, a gentleman by the name of Octavius.
Well, Elijah had that meeting.
Elijah had that meeting, of course. And then Octavius wondered if he could actually speak to the others as well, and said he'd be coming by sometime this evening. He said whether or not you'd be able to speak to Lady Arcium, that's going to be a matter of her own schedule. He can't assist with that, unfortunately.
Because he's
Tried.
a pleb. He's a pleb.
I tried. I talked to what's his name, and then he said he was going to come by tonight, and we didn't have any milk or cookies out.
That man is a pleb.
Who's a pleb?
The guy I was
Man
talking
who
to
has no
before.
control over
Yeah.
the other person's schedule. He's a pleb compared to her.
Who was that guy I was talking to? What's his name?
That's not how that works, though.
What was
That
his
is how
name?
that works. He's a pleb.
So,
What's his name?
so if hold on, wait. So if like the producer of a film doesn't have control over the schedule of the producer of
Oh
another
my
film,
God, you're getting too analytical. I'm saying he's a pleb for not having any influence. It's a joke, Scott. Gosh darn it.
I didn't think it was very funny. Actually, I got a little offended too. Yeah, Tyler, you kind of offended us.
Well, you can suck a giant cock.
Well, maybe I will.
And by that he means like he hopes you have some delicious chicken tonight.
It's in the fridge.
That's good. All right, so I have I have a pull on my sweater.
You ever take some food out for dinner and then you're disappointed when it thaws in time because you kind of just wanted to go to McDonald's?
No, never. Literally never once in my life.
Okay. Well,
Never. I mean, I could say with full authority, never in my life has that ever transpired. Never.
Well, it doesn't have to be McDonald's if that's where your issue is. It could have been anything. Maybe you just wanted to, I don't know, go to
Chipotle?
Yeah, get some pasta or something. I don't know. You're like, damn, the chicken's thawed. Now I have to eat it.
I mean, you can put it back in the fridge.
Hey, Game Mommy gets me. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I did. I put it in the fridge. That's why I have chicken in the fridge. It's because I didn't eat it today.
All right, let's play the fucking game.
We got barbecue.
So you head back and you inform your allies of the meeting that you just had and that he is going to be coming by for a visit.
Yes.
In doing so, a couple hours pass and eventually you have a visitor at your the apartment where you guys are staying. One day I'll have my voice back. I hope one day I have my voice back. So you guys are brain's not working, sorry. So you guys are
Waiting for him to come by.
sorry, he actually comes by the apartment. So I saw a text like 5 minutes ago and it just hit me like, and I was like what the meaning of it was. So my ADHD. That's why you don't look at your phone while you stream. So he comes by and gives a knock on the door.
I guess I wait. I freeze Ophios' head off. I'll open the door.
Who's this? I can't even.
I freeze his mouth shut. So he can't talk. Haha, can't talk.
Such a freaky voice. So you walk in, you go over to the door and you open it up. And of course, you know who you see on the other side. It is
Scott, you inserted yourself into this campaign as a playable character for yourself?
What a guy.
That's who it is, right? It's
I
you.
mean, I could insert myself into that character. I think he'd be down.
You had to ask him though.
Kinky.
I just
You
give
have to ask him on screen.
I just give it like the look, and he gives like the nod. and then we know.
He's like, I literally can't say no. You answer for me. So.
Oh no, that's not funny. You're talking about power dynamics there, man. I am the Louis C.K. of D&D. God
Yeah, but you're
damn it.
also the person Louis C.K.'s doing shit to. So.
Oh, okay. So it's just
So it's
master. Never mind. So
It's just really roundabout. Yeah.
it's master dungeoning. That's what I meant to say.
Mas-
I thought you were
Hey,
about to say
master.
master and commander, or the common denominator.
So you open the door and it's Octavius on the other side, and he says, and again, this is a few hours later on, so it's at a very late hour. And he says,
I'm in a robe with some bubbly. Oh, hey, Octavius. Didn't expect you to come by so soon.
Oh, hey.
he says, please excuse my voice. It's been a long day of meetings. I a little bit raspy.
Yeah.
You're not excused.
Ophiel, shut the fuck up.
He says, do you have a knife? I need to skin a snake.
Do you skin snakes?
What
with
you
knives?
do with your willy is your own business. I don't know why you're announcing it.
Jesus. Moving on. So you invite him in, and he comes in and says, thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this evening so quickly.
Sure. Yeah. The others were getting ready. I'll gather them if you just want to wait somewhere. Chair.
I'm gonna text Brittany something really quickly.
Okay, I'll go get my friends. I don't know who Brittany or what texting is, but I'll figure it out. Are you still in your bath? It's been like 8 hours.
Can you please do me a tiny, tiny little favor
Maybe?
and put on a pot of water so that a kettle of water so I can make some tea, because I feel like my voice is getting worse looking at Messi. Thank you.
You want me to go back to the VTuber?
Can you please? Oh God, don't play. I don't want to hear my own voice.
He plays it.
Play it. Play it.
I
Play it.
don't want to hear myself. I sound like an asshole.
Exactly. It's perfect.
All right, so,
No, I'm not still in the bath. That you asked me
okay.
that. No.
Okay.
Ophios is in the bath now.
She would have gotten cleaned up and everything. Yeah.
you
He does
you
the same
invite-
thing where he opens
He's
the
got,
door. He's
you
like,
know
oh,
how
oh,
like
oh.
deductively,
It's Ophios
like,
instead.
like you can like stick your
Ooh,
leg
hey,
out.
Hey, Thigh.
Ooh.
Hey, Thigh.
And instead of sticking his leg out, his tail's just over the edge, just like he's like, "Hey, big boy."
He's a whole snake. Like,
Ophios, you're like 3 months old. You can't be doing that.
Like, you're not my daddy.
he's like, well, actually.
For the right price, though.
Funny thing about that. I carried you in a sack.
We're
Oh,
responsible for you.
Isn't that
Ew.
only half of the DNA though?
I swear, one day we will get some story progress.
Hey,
Not
Scott.
on a day where Tyler's tired. I promise you
Yeah,
that.
while we're off topic, Scott, are we ever gonna find out how, like, where the eggs came from? Like, are we gonna find the mommy and daddy snake?
So he walks into the room and says, "Thank you again for seeing me so late in the evening." And again, it's
Right.
very late. It's like midnight or so, right? Like it's very late. And he comes in, and I imagine the other two are about, like, kind of like in the common area.
Yeah, I'll call him over.
I'm in the bath.
I freeze the water.
I said I was in the bath.
We have to push him out in the tub.
The naked guy frozen in a block of ice.
Yeah,
Here he is.
yeah. He's here.
Oh my
His
God,
voice.
Josh.
Why?
Octave's like, sorry for meeting you so late. Why?
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 I take showers at like 1 and 2 in the morning after the
Same.
stream's end. I would say 2 or
Same.
3 in the morning after the stream's end. I love taking a nice hot shower before bed.
Me too.
Yeah. So anyways,
Did someone ask that, or are you just mentioning it?
who
Hey, it was
bathes
in
at midnight?
chat.
Oh, me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also me.
So I guess all
Look
of us
how
do.
long my arm is.
We do.
Yeah. All right, Steve, you have to bathe because you're a dirty boy. So, all right, moving on.
Stop.
So you guys are
We're in the room. We're in the room. Octavius is there.
guys.
What have you to say, Octavius?
And
What are you saying?
Hey, there was this guy in the You walked into a room.
A giant dick biscuit.
What?
All right.
What?
Messy is a giant dick
Me?
biscuit.
Messy is a giant dick biscuit.
Yeah, she's mad because I called out Scott for pushing his daughter in the lake, and she got all
Messy is
upset.
A giant dick biscuit.
Yeah. Okay.
She's just mad
What's
because I
a
called
dick
you out for your
biscuit?
bad
You-
parenting.
It's actually
dick biscuits.
It's a reference from an Australian comedian on Netflix that you should totally watch because she's fucking amazing. Her name is Hannah.
Montana.
Montana. Yeah, Messy.
No, I don't remember it. Just go ahead to Netflix and type in Hannah Gadsby. Thank you. Thank you from the Aussie in the audience. Anyways, an awesome Aussie comedian, Hannah Gadsby. Very funny.
She looks like Bird.
Wow. Wow, that's typecasting.
Similar nose and haircut.
Yep. Sure. So nice. Good job. Moving
Thanks.
on.
I call it as I see it.
What a guy, calling it as he sees it. I like that in a man.
Thanks,
So
brother.
moving on. Why don't we sorry, there's just layers of funny to that, but I'm gonna leave it alone. So just gonna leave it alone. Walk away, Scott. Walk away.
No,
Thank
continue,
you.
please.
Thank you for seeing me so late in the evening. You called
Yeah, you
them
said
over.
that about 4 times now.
I
Are you
know.
okay? Do you want to come inside? You just keep standing there. It's like, shit. Why was I here? Fuck.
I understand you're
Um,
nervous. You've never been with a snake before.
Sorry, it's my first time.
Green, Ano, Joey. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Specifically for you three. I'm putting the effort in there. You know, there's like legitimate effort going in.
Oh, guys, he's putting it in there. You heard it here first.
Oh my god.
Putting it in there.
No, see, I think they actually want to do stuff because I think. Did you have a Patreon session right before this?
No, there's one tomorrow night, but it has nothing to do
okay.
with this campaign.
They had a bunch of questions where they wanted to talk to you about them, and I was like, oh.
That's because their Patreon, one of the Patreon tiers changed. They all happen to have like the highest Patreon tier. So
Of course, yeah.
things change as they have questions about that. But what if I threaten with a TC then? I don't think that'll work.
Hey, come inside, sir. Please, right away.
Or 12.
You're gonna put. You're gonna play tender loving care on us.
There's no.
Oh, you did it first. Holy shit. That's not right. That's not right, though. I have 83 daddies. I don't have 5,430.
Yeah, it
Apparently.
likes to lie.
I don't.
Sure. Moving on. So let's play the damn game.
I'm gonna bet them all right now.
And then he triples them. So let's play the damn game. You guys are as you go walking in. As he comes walking in, you call everybody over to meet with him, and he looks at the two of you and says, "I assume that you are Ophios and Rena.
I lost.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Octavius."
Nice
Oh,
to
hey,
meet
we're
you.
actually doing something.
He says, I offered to speak with you because I happen to be an advisor to the queen. He says, I offered to speak with you because I happen to be an advisor to the crown. And I knew that there was a degree of urgency for the conversations that you wanted to have. And I wanted to make sure that I brought as powerful of information forward as possible so that she can meet with you as soon as possible. Though I also understand there's a degree of conversation that you would rather have with her directly, as opposed to through me as a proxy. May I have a seat?
Yeah,
Please.
sure.
First
There's a pull-out couch if you want to stay the night.
First and foremost, on behalf of the crown and on behalf of all of Malta, I would like to say welcome. Welcome to your home, to our home.
Vic, Elijah, I didn't think they were so welcoming that they offered their home as our home.
Ophios, he's a little tongue-twisted because he's tired. He's been talking to people all day. Give the man some respect.
It is midnight.
He hasn't earned shit.
So he says, Did you, what was it that you felt so you needed to speak with me about? The two of you specifically. I know that there was a good bit of information you wanted to get off of your chest, according to Elijah here. Actually, he says according to Master Elijah here. Magister.
Magister.
Mistral.
Mistral.
Yeah, maybe that's his branch, but Magister.
Oh, Magister, yeah.
Elijah here.
I don't remember anything I was going to tell this guy.
Yeah, I think
you're confused.
No, I had questions I meant to ask, but I thought you guys had stuff you had to talk about as well.
I think he said he wanted to speak to them as well.
He did.
So I said, "Oh, okay. Well, they're around. Just come by." He said, "Okay, I'll
Yeah.
come by."
Okay.
We
it?
don't have
I'm trying to
business
remember.
with him. I don't
Okay.
think, because we were just planning on speaking to Lady Arsium, and then Elijah said he was going to speak to the Queen.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I didn't
By
even tell them. I didn't even really tell them I met with him.
So,
Yeah.
Or was
so,
going to.
no,
You were
did-
like, "This
you
guy's
did
going
when
to
you
come
came
by,"
back.
and we're like, "Okay."
You filled him when you came back end of last session. So you say to so he says there was nothing specific that you wanted to go over. My apologies. I did have some questions for you. As a matter of fact, questions specifically regarding your recent experiences in northern Paradel.
How recent?
Going back almost a year now, I suppose, at this point.
More than that, Scott.
I look at the other two like, has it been a year?
If
A
you're
year since
talking
what?
the rebellion, the
Was it-
rebellion was no.
It wasn't more
No,
than a
he's
year,
talking
no.
about something else.
Yeah, the time jumpiness made things feel weird, but it was actually less than a year ago. Yeah.
It was
I don't think-
3 months. We were in prison after that.
Yep. So you're looking at like 10, 11 months ago. It's still just under a year.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he says about a year ago.
You go.
So what are you referring?
If I must speak so plainly, the rebellion in Momley.
There's a rebellion in Momley?
He looks to Elijah.
Yeah, so this is part of the reason we needed to see Lady Arsium. He has some memory lapse problems from some magics that was used against him at the temple I was talking to you about.
He nods and says, "I'm terribly sorry to hear that. One's memory is, I suppose, the closest thing they have to, well, anything in this world. If you don't have yourself, who do you have?"
Yeah, I'm sure
Hey,
that
guys.
I'm sure that won't keep him up at night. Thank you.
I have Renas.
It is important to have those that you hold dear. And sometimes, in our more trying times, they can kind of help guide us through the path.
So rebellion questions might be better spent on Rena here.
What specifically are you looking to know?
It's fucking weird, Josh.
What did he donate? I didn't see.
He said, "Ha ha
What was
ha
the
ha."
message?
Now I bought Brit dinner, loser.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh my god.
What a power move.
Jesus, Josh.
So that's
Or you
all
just
right.
bought Scott dinner. He doesn't need to tell Britt that happened. He could just keep the money for himself.
No, I'll send it to her.
You'd be like,
Josh
"Thanks for dinner,
trying to-
Josh."
I'm very confused.
I'm assuming Josh owed you some money for dinner or something.
No. So,
Oh, okay.
you guys are so yeah, he says he looks to you to start answering questions.
I said, "What specifically are you looking to know more about?"
How rapidly do they respond to the attacks?
The response of the people?
The military.
What about it? Looking to know what their movements, how they function.
More how quickly and how many?
Well, a lot. But you can imagine how quickly they wanted to remedy this situation that I had started for them. Listen, it didn't. They told me I was, well, foolish for even trying, but yeah, and they were right. So their response, Paradel's, was swift, and it was unrelenting.
Swift. I was expecting a bit of a delay in Vala. With the amount of pressure, you're familiar with the structure of Paradel, correct?
She nods.
With the amount of pressure that's being put on onto a Malta currently, and the number of soldiers that are fighting into Yovance at the moment, this all falls under the same hats, the same Tarambar that rules Vala. Meaning most of these soldiers that would be under the command of that Tarambar would be here and now. This leads me to believe that now there'd be far fewer soldiers in Vala than there were before.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
That now they would be distracted. But I need to know your opinion of the matter. You're the one that fought, even if you lost.
Do you have a plan?
Are we talking striking while their military's occupied elsewhere?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I honestly do not care about the downfall of Vala. It's not an end goal of mine by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying it because if there's enough havoc in the area, that would pull their attention from here and bring them back there. So it's not meant to be a successful campaign, just something to pull their attention elsewhere.
You just see a sly smile appear on Ophios's face.
You'll have to tell me more about your plan for me to be able to help.
Before we can get into such details, I have a question. What is your plan? Who are you targeting?
My memories.
That is the
says, he looks at you for a moment, blinks twice, looks back at Rena.
I look to Elijah.
I mean, he's not wrong. He knows more about the Lopers than we do. Somewhere in there, I hope. Still. Hopefully.
Ophios will take a questioning look over at you for the fact that you just mentioned Lopers in the presence of this, and he was not privy to this, and this guy hasn't responded in a questioning way.
Well, he just said Lopers 2 seconds ago, right? So you look at him as he says Lopers. He looks back at you and says, the creatures we just discussed.
Yeah, I think I told him they're called Lopers.
Yeah, you did. He says the creatures we just discussed.
Right, yeah.
He looks back.
to
Yep.
Orpheus then. Okay.
And then he looks back at Rena and says, do you intend to root them out all throughout Paradel? If so, where, when, how? What are your plans? What are your tactics? What is it you're looking to accomplish?
You have a lot of questions for someone who hasn't answered mine.
Because I would like to be able to provide some degree of aid, but I don't know if I can provide aid unless I know what your plans are.
Plan 1 is to get my memories back.
And I believe Lady Arcima is going to assist you with that. I will not be able to assist you. Unfortunately, magics are not something that I'm familiar with.
From
When it
there,
comes-
I will know how I was able to defeat them before, as well as Rena.
As individuals or as a society.
They are not a society.
Huh.
They are individuals in charge of a society.
I actually keenly understand that. So you don't have plans of taking Vala. You have plans of, looking at Rena, you have plans of isolating out these specific leaders, hunting them down.
That was the plan.
If you were given a number of soldiers to lead, to wreak havoc in that area, and by whatever means you need to be successful, would you stay to hold, or would you move on?
Ophius looks to Arena.
We don't exactly function like that.
How do you function?
Yes, we've gotten help before, but last time we decided to take on more, didn't exactly go according to plan.
Yeah, Octavius, these aren't these are high-standing officers and political figures. You can't march an army into everyone's home. You have to go in one at a time. You know what I mean?
Yes, actually, I understand what you're saying. My point is to cause disruption in Vala. Your name carries weight in the region, does it not? Or would that be lost since you were captured and sentenced?
I can't imagine it holds much weight.
I did have a commander retrieve her from prison, so I'm sure her name hasn't faded completely. And the guards there might have spread word that she had left, but I think it's diminished significantly since she was captured.
You have allies with a commander?
That's something I wanted to go over tomorrow, or whenever the Queen can meet. I don't remember what day that was.
I understand. I want you to think this over. If you think that your name bears weight, if you think that marching an army into that region would cause enough disruption that you would actually be able to... one second. Yes, please! Exclamation point.
Why don't you just type it out?
If you think that you'd be able to cause enough of a disruption that soldiers from their western border, our eastern, would be brought back to shore up the area, if you think doing such a thing would also be beneficial to you, let us talk. He looks to Elijah. After you're done with the crown, that is.
Sounds good.
If Ophios will chime in, if you, who led a nation, were under siege, under attack, personally, do you think you would pull your armies back to protect yourself? Your kingdom falls if you fall, does it not?
The way Paradol operates and the way I operate are two very, very different things.
I'm referring to the fact that if your conquest is to expand and to have more control and more power, wouldn't you want to be alive to see it?
I suppose yes.
Is that the whole point? Did you have more to say?
I just merely was saying that if one were to attack somebody that such as a high official and create a mess, I imagine they would need to protect themselves or desire to do such.
Do you have any questions, Rena? Or do we have an understanding?
For now.
Think on it. I'll see what we can put together. In the meanwhile, think on it. Don't be afraid to say no, but don't be afraid to say yes either.
Have a good night, Octavius.
He looks to you and says, likewise. And once again, thank you, Magister, for having made such wonderful acquaintances during your voyages.
I got lucky.
He smiles and says, fortune does sometimes shine brightly on us, despite the...
I should change my background.
I don't know, you're in Malta. Despite the fact that shadows seem to be looming over these lands for too long. He gets up and walks over to the door.
Malta.
Oh, as he walks over, says, I'll show my way out. Sleep well. Adios.
Once he's gone, Ophios will look at Elijah and say, you speak much of things without my approval.
To be honest, Ophios, you don't remember half the things I speak about.
But speaking of the Lopers, and perhaps of my kind, I would prefer to have control over that.
I haven't mentioned too much of your kind. I didn't want to reveal it. I plan on speaking more in front of the crown, but you should know I am an officer of my people, of my country.
I understand.
Ophios, they know of the Lopers here.
They've been fighting them directly.
Did they know what they were or what they are?
No, but they knew the stories. And I think I
So
might
they
have...
knew these people had great powers. They knew not that they were Lopers.
They didn't know they were different. They thought that Paradel just somehow contained that magic. But no, they aren't Paradel.
Either way, I would prefer to at least be in the presence when that information is discussed.
You want to meet with the crown?
I would prefer to be able to know what is being said and make sure that not too much is said.
We ought to get your memories back first.
I hope we can,
Yes.
but if the crown needs to meet before Lady Arsium, we have to do it. We can't ask them to wait. Look, if you guys want to observe, I can let you observe, but I can't have you speak.
I can't speak.
I can't have you speak to the crown. Unless asked directly.
I've told you before you can trust Elijah.
What would your people do if they saw me?
The real you? Or this?
You know what I mean.
They'd have a lot of questions.
I imagine that would make them speak to me.
It would. But I would like to not have a dramatic unveiling of your wonderful
This is your home.
personality.
And I do trust you
Good.
because Rena trusts you.
Okay.
And
We can work
because
with
you've
that.
shown your worth as we've traveled. At
Happy
least
to-
that I can remember.
Thank you.
He's had many opportunities to leave. Trust me, I've given him them.
A
I've
Malta,
also heard things from other sources, as you're aware, Rena.
a Malta is not your enemy here. Remember that. We're on the same side. As we have been the whole time I've been with you.
My
If I'm-
only enemy is the Lopers
Exactly.
and anyone who aids them.
And when the crown hears that we have the same enemy, we'll be allies. You understand?
I
If
have
you are
much to think
people-
about, and I would prefer at least you discuss with me what is discussed before it's said.
I guess that's fair.
That is all I am saying.
I wasn't planning on speaking of your people. If you want to do that, I can give you time during the meeting with the crown, if you'd like.
It need not be said, but it will come out with Lady Arsium.
Of course.
That
yeah.
was said by Laszlo. Or hinted at.
Yeah, Daelric, what I know, what I have an idea of Lady Arsium to the point of how much information she reports to the crown? Is there any kind of difference in
She doesn't have to report. I mean, the crown is legally allowed to know everything, anything that any of the nobles are working on. It's the fucking crown. The buck stops there, right?
So what happens if Lady
that
Arson
doesn't-
keeps a secret?
But it doesn't mean that everything goes to the crown. So the
Okay.
crown inquires. They're supposed to have access to everything, but they don't report everything unless it's pertinent.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
the
exactly. Okay.
crown is literally, it's the queen. She's 16 years old.
Right.
You know, their job is to decide, does the queen need to know this right now? Or do I just handle it myself?
Okay,
Right.
so back in Ophios, just because Lady Arceum knows your secret doesn't mean she'll tell the crown. I mean, if you wanted to keep the secret from a molten politics, you feel free. I was honestly trying to do you a favor by not getting you mixed up with their rapport.
Again, it's much to be thought about. But yes,
You'll
the
have
more secret, the
hopefully-
better.
You'll have hopefully days, but
But it also
think-
would be nice to not have to constantly wear this thing. And he pulls down his hood.
oh god, no kidding. Yes, it also would be nice for you to have your memories back before we go meet with the crown. I'm sure they'll have questions about your past that you just might not have answers for right now, and having to tell them you're going to Lady Arsum to get your memories back, like we did today, might cause some more issues for everyone.
It's possible that also, I imagine, the crown could push for that to happen sooner.
That's true. I
If
feel Lady
you-
Arceum wants to meet with you, though.
If you explain the pertinence of it, of course.
Yeah.
I know not who this person is, and frankly, I'm nervous just thinking about what they'll find out at the same time I find out.
Yeah, I'm nervous too. You know what teenagers are like? They're crazy, they're relentless. They'll say whatever comes in their mind. And
Zoomers.
a teenager that's been coddled from birth to have this kind of power, I fear that. But her advisors seem trustworthy, as we saw. I don't know if you would agree, Rena, but I think Octavius, for once, is actually someone of high ranking that's on our side.
He seems well intentioned.
Good.
You seem as if something bothered you about his questions. What happened in this place called Momley?
God damn.
Well, we tried to go against Paradel by way of rebellion. I
And
mean, you'll remember soon enough.
Scott,
I'm more. Sorry, go
do,
ahead.
do you remember if I remember the gate? I can't remember if
You
I
do remember the gate,
Okay.
but I guess you don't remember what happened in Momley.
He definitely
Correct.
remembers the gate, though.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why we ended up in the gate.
Is that why two names stick out to me from that place?
Which two?
The political person and the soldier
Talking
boy.
about Vance.
Vance and
Vance and what was the other one's name there? It doesn't matter.
La-
They're both dead. anyways.
Laszlo?
Yeah, it was
wasn't
Laszlo.
it?
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
Laszlo, yeah.
It was another Laszlo.
No, no, it's not.
Well,
I
Erwin, it wasn't
Erwin.
Erwin.
Erwin wasn't in the jail.
We thought he was dead.
Yeah.
It's not. It was Laszlo, yeah.
Everybody should get their own Brittany.
When you say both of the names, her face will drop.
Those are sore subjects.
Well, they're dead, so.
And their deaths weigh heavy on you. Why?
Dick.
So I got them killed.
He doesn't know, Scott.
it's fine.
You blame yourself for their deaths. Why? You put them there?
They weren't initially part of the agreement.
I really want my memories back.
+2.
Aside from that, Elijah, what do you think of what Octavius had to say?
I had a plan I was going to present to the Queen, and honestly, he's on the right track. I think he's got the first half of it figured out, but the back half is it's a little more complicated.
Do you agree that we should take the troops he's offering?
No, God no. Well, that doesn't mean troops aren't useful. We can send out scouts. We can cause a disruption in a town, draw the guards away, as he mentioned. I mean, basically, my idea, and I think his idea too, he just hasn't gotten completely to that point yet, is that you and Ophios are going to be high-profile assassins. I mean, that's what you were before the rebellion, right? Maybe you didn't realize it, but you're killing commanders, generals, advisors, people of crown.
Of our own accord.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you think assassins are ordered? Not always.
At least
But,
some get compensated.
That's kind of what I want to talk to Queen about too. I mean, if we could get you guys on the, not the Molten payroll necessarily, but Molten resources, you could, I think you'd have a much greater chance than you had before.
The
And
problem
you're
is
already successful.
What?
I said you were already successful. As in, you were able to complete your tasks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we took out 2.
I took out 1, but it was already dead, and I had an angel helping me.
3 down. How many to go?
Well,
Well,
She
mine was
sounds. She sounds pretty sour.
but the thing is, like, you guys know, the only ones that really matter are the Kringal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but those were the easy ones, right?
The Kringal, the powerful
No.
ones.
In character.
Oh,
he's
yes.
saying that
You
the
guys-
three we kill are
he's
the
talking
easy
to-
ones. Yeah.
The Kringal, like when you guys come across Haven, the one who you know where they are because you just like encountered by them. Those are the ones where it's like, oh boy, when was the last time we leveled? How soon can we level?
And maybe if you wanted a team to run with you, if you needed recruits, we could scout some here. I don't know. You two seem successful on your own.
I mean, help is always nice, but I don't know how many more I'm willing to risk.
Yeah, for Scott's sake. Scott, how many NPC companions can we have? Follow us around?
Well, do you have the leadership feat? It requires you to be level 7.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're not playing Pathfinder. Sorry,
No, we're not.
So what kind of charisma check do I need to get a mercenary around here?
Let's see. You have to beat a DC 25. You roll a D20.
All
Add
right,
your
let's
charisma
try.
modifier. You get a +1 for every 3 levels you have, and a -15 for living in Florida.
All right, so that's let's do the quick math. So a 20 plus charisma modifier is a 22. Hey, that's pretty pog. And then plus what?
1 for every 3 levels.
3 levels, so that's +3. So that's oh, so I can get a 25. Perfect. And then -15, so it caps out at around 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do that roll. 1d20 plus 5 minus 15. 2.
Oh my god, you always got a natty 20.
Let's try it again. Let's see. Oh, a -7. Okay. Okay. Might be a little tougher than I thought. All right. We'll try. We'll try. Maybe we'll get to
What
it.
is this?
He wants his own mercenary.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, what were we talking about? I'm sorry, I got
Oh,
sidetracked.
Scott, what do I need to roll to get my own mercenary?
Hey, maybe Patreon was literally asking today, like, are we ever going to be able to make advisors for them again? And my response was, probably not. They dodged those. and got the 2 that they had killed.
Oops. Wait, how many advisors were sent to us throughout this campaign?
5?
Right?
I mean, technically speaking, Morningstar, whatever the fuck her name is still around.
Nightingale.
Nightingale is still
Okay,
around.
yeah, okay. But Birdman
Yeah, we
wasn't-
kept the blind lady
didn't-
alive.
we didn't kill Birdman. That wasn't us. That wasn't our fault.
No, that was from me.
Oh, that was you.
So
Okay,
me.
so we had 6 advisors sent to us.
Well, no.
5 from
No.
Patriots.
He was meant to go. He was actually meant to go somewhere else, and then,
Oh,
anyways,
okay.
doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't. He didn't. So,
Oh,
okay.
Josh, the one you sent, I killed.
You did?
Yep. Me personally,
Shit.
not Ophios, just me.
All right. Well, Scott, I guess you're right. I guess you
Don't
got
worry.
it.
We'll worry about that moving forward. But for now, you guys pretty much finish up your conversation with what it is that you're.
Yeah. Did Rena? We were talking about the plan, and we were talking about getting mercenaries. Did Rena have any more she wanted to mention?
No, I think that was it for now.
Okay.
Mostly
Cool.
that we just need to. What we're waiting? Are we waiting for them to tell you when Lady Arsum?
Yeah,
is-
we're stuck here till either Lady R seems free or the crown is free.
So, Lady RCM, next day, you guys sleep. Wake up. Woo, ha.
That was quick. It was like 5 seconds.
Anything you guys want to do in the city of Heplon, the capital city of Malta? Anything you guys you want to look for? I think you actually have coin to burn, and the magic
Weren't we
here is
supposed to
different
try
than it
and
was.
find what's his name's brother so I can get my freaking sword?
That's not
Oh,
in this. Is that in this city?
I mean,
Oh,
he's in one of 2 cities. He's either in this city or the city Hecatsia to the south of here.
Is he a soldier?
No, he's
It's Rayron's
higher up.
brother.
Well, technically, he's in the military. Yes.
Okay, so if I go to the barracks and ask for his name, will they point me in the right direction?
He's not that low of a soldier.
Okay.
You'd
So I'd
ask
have to-
somebody with authority.
There's got to be some kind of like officer,
which-
secretary, or
Which,
something. I can
again,
talk to.
you're not low in the military yourself, so you can definitely ask, and you can just roll an investigation check, and you'll be able to find out.
All
Why
right,
can't
let's
we
do that.
talk to that guy that
Okay.
we just talked to?
Okay.
The guy who came over last night to get
Oh,
down.
he's not
Octavius?
that super easy to get a hold of.
Oh.
So yeah, he's actually he's one of the counselors to the crown. So he's like, that's like being like, you
What
know,
the fuck?
can I talk to the Secretary of State, please?
You
Yeah.
needed to wait because you get advantage because of your position of power.
Oh, do I get advantage because of my position of power?
You know what? I'm gonna let
Please.
who's a mean person? Ano can decide yes or no.
I don't know. I guess to decide.
Ano gets to decide yes or no. Do you get advantage?
I veto that.
Can I get disadvantage? Because that still gives me a reroll.
Ano says yes. You cannot have advantage.
Okay.
I veto that because it's my sword and the people Messi's rolling. I decide.
Can
right.
I get disadvantage?
You get advantage. Go ahead.
All right, thanks. Let's try that again. Oh, that's way better. Yeah, that's way better. I'll take that.
You find out that he's in the city to the south by the name of Hecatsia.
Fuck. Okay, well, we can hit that on the way out, right?
Mhm.
All right, cool. So I'll relay that info and we'll hit that on the way out. But yeah.
Okay.
Yes, my power move paid off.
If there's anything else that you guys want to do while you're in Heplon, any things that you're looking for? If not, that's fine. Just say so. We can skip.
I want to
Go
see
ahead.
if I can find any snake people.
That's actually a really good one. That's going to be
Yeah.
investigation with disadvantage.
I was actually gonna say.
not even with my like safe haven and faction stuff.
Regular.
Investigation.
Do I know any seedy places that maybe I could give them advantage for if we check there first?
No, you are Mr. Up and Up.
Damn. Come on.
No, what?
Fuck.
Well, nobody loves
Damn
you.
it. Fuck.
So,
We need luck. Ooh, fuck. We need luck. Yeah. Look me up.
so you guys are unable to find. You were able to find out that he's not here, and you were able to discover that there are none of your people that you're familiar with here at the moment. So let's keep going. You
Yeah, does it while walking
this
around?
is
Does
the
he get
safe
any?
haven thing? Just so chat can see it.
Of
While
course.
he's walking around, does he get any like Loper vibrations or whatever? Like his
No.
little Witcher medallion goes off?
Are you
No,
talking
no.
about my Peter Tingle?
Yeah, your
No.
Peter Tingle.
No Peter Tingle. Continuing on. Continuing
Okay.
on. Jesus.
That would have been interesting if his Peter was tingling.
Have you guys not seen the newest Spider-Man?
I mean,
Come on,
yes, of
it's
course.
Into the Spider-Verse, yeah,
okay.
of course.
Yeah.
Your Peter Tingle.
Yes.
I remember that bit. Yeah. I'm
Well,
excited
no,
for the new one.
Homecoming was the newest. Into
Far
Spider
From
Verse
Home.
was a Far From Home. Sorry, yeah. Into the Spider Verse is a cartoon. So
It wasn't a cartoon. It was an animated movie. Where's my snap filter? I'm actually face.
okay, so you guys are the time flashes forward, and Lady Arceum will reach out to you, and when somebody comes and speaks to you, they say, Lady Arceum has time to speak with you this evening. She can meet with you in 3 hours. She can meet with you for 1 hour tops. That is all. Are you willing to take this spot?
Yes.
Perfect. Then we will allow you. Then I will inform her that you will be taking that meeting.
Can we inform Messi that we're taking that meeting? Thank you.
And so,
Taking a meeting?
Yeah, we're
With
meeting with
Lady Arceum.
Lady Arceum.
I just unmuted the stream, so I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Got
Okay.
he's used to it by now.
Yeah. I haven't a macro for it.
He's running.
I seriously the only one that's not been kicked out.
Kick him out the show. What it feels like. He's gonna kick me out again. Fuck.
Oh no.
No.
So,
He knew it.
Because I remember
my
the one
foot.
time Marina got kicked out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I was shocked.
Jesus,
He lost his eyebrows.
Man, you really burned him real good with that one, Scott. His eyebrows are gone.
he is an ass. All right. What a dime piece.
Why me though?
So, why me? I bet if you explained it to your mom, she'd say, makes sense. I knew I liked that Daelric when I met him.
You didn't meet my mom.
cute little boy.
You didn't meet my mom.
I don't know. Oh, that was his mom.
Yeah, that wasn't my mom. That was someone else's mom. We're not brothers.
Close enough. Close. Both of them in Florida. So,
That's true. Yeah.
Wait, whose mom did you meet?
Don't worry about it. Like my co-producer. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Messi's childhood best friend's mommy.
Not
So,
childhood best friend.
childhood best friend, and the person who's willing to share his wife with. So you guys are 3 hours later, assuming
Not
nothing else to
married.
do, you go to meet with Lady Arceum, of course, at the castle, of course, in her office. Her office is effectively a library in and of itself. Many books put on the many shelves that are inside there. The room is fairly well lit. There are 2 fireplaces inside of it. Both of them have fires burning. There are multiple desks inside of it. Each one of those desks look like there's a different project being worked on, and so on and so forth. When you go walking into the room, everybody roll me a perception check.
Am I with them, or did I stay to wait for the queen just in case?
You told them you were going to stay and wait for the queen.
Okay.
Do I get any
Then I'll be right back.
advantage or Loper roll for that or anything?
No.
Oh, I'll take that.
I have a passive
22.
perception. Will that work, or is this because it's active perception?
This actually would be passive.
Oh, well, in that case, it's a 15.
Ophios would probably actively be looking because he's nervous and anxious about
No,
this.
that's
whole thing.
fine. That's fine. And 15 is actually pretty solid. Both of you guys happen to notice as you're walking in, kind of taking the sights and, look at her, but like taking the sights or whatever in the room. Both of you happen to notice, Rena just barely out of the corner of your eye, Ophios, you're looking around, that there's a very familiar looking chest on the far side of the room sitting in a corner.
Odd.
Rena's.
When you guys
Are
open
we
up the
alone in
door and
this?
when you guys open up the door and you go in, Lady Arceum is standing there. She's dressed more or less think like how you'd imagine a Hogwarts female professor being, you know, like very like like Professor McGonagall, right? Like very straight backed older woman, not old but older woman, very straight back, pursed face, glasses on. Definitely has like very well tamed hair. This isn't just a high standing important mage, right? Wizard, right? In a wizard nation. This is a high noble, born into nobility and raised to be extremely proper. By reputation that you've heard thus far, she's a don't fuck with her. You know what I mean? She's a very to the point. She's accustomed to getting things done her way, the way they're supposed to be done, so on and so forth. She doesn't waste her time. So the fact that she's giving you an hour meeting is like, don't waste it. So the door opens up and the two of you come walking in and you kind of look to the side and you say, Rena. And she says, it's a pleasure to make the acquaintance of the two of you. I assume Rena and Ophios, please have a seat by the fire.
Yes, I'm Rena. I don't do that.
Okay,
That
good.
was me making a
I was
joke.
like, please.
That
no.
was me making a joke.
Okay, I'll go sit by the fire wherever she motioned.
Okay. So you go over and you sit down by the fire, and she'll come over and sit down as well. Unlike a lot of other people that you've met with, she doesn't offer you any beverages or anything like that. She just comes over and sits down at one of the comfortable seats over by the fire nearby. And she says, you asked to have a meeting with me. I understand that you come carrying some pedigree. Please, what did you need? Or sorry, no, she says, what do you want?
To who? To me or to Ophios?
To the royal.
To us both. Okay.
Lady Arcium, the only reason I know of you is not Elijah, but merely a former member of the Arcane Congress, Laszlo.
I know Laszlo, yes.
There was an incident where something happened to me and I have lost much of my memories. He believed if anyone were to be able to recover them, it would be you.
How did you lose them?
I might be able to
That's-
explain this.
That's a
Then
rather
he can.
complex story.
You have less than an hour at this point. I suggest you give me the touchstones.
Abridged version.
Yeah.
Okay, the short of it is sorry, just trying to find the words. Hang on.
I was
He was
unborn.
affected by time magic, essentially making him unborn. Myself and Elijah worked together to reverse that, so to speak. And we were successful in this, in that we merely accelerated the aging process. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry. You're going to have to just explain that one more time.
Are you aware of the powers of mages of Paradel?
Mages of Paradel, yes.
Their magic's in their training facility, a temple that is one charged with controlling time.
That does not sound like Paradel magic.
It's not Paradel. It's beyond that.
You said
It's-
mages of Paradel.
He means Loper.
And this word means?
They're creatures not from this plane.
They can alter space and time to their will.
Interesting. Go on.
A temple in which they train. We were there, and there were some effects to us when we both altered time and fixed it.
The temple itself seemed to control time or help the flow of it.
Do you
From
know
what we
where this
understand.
temple is?
I do, but that's beside the point right now.
Do you have any rudimentary understanding of how it is that this temple functions?
A altar at the top where somebody or something guides time.
Do you have any proof that you're not lying?
I don't know what would benefit us in line in this situation.
You have just met with one of the highest nobles in this entire country.
Ophios reaches into his bag and pulls out the items that he had taken from the temple.
Remind me which items these are.
The powder, the liquid, the other liquid.
She looks up at the pile of junk in your hands and she says, would you like me to detect these?
If you can actually detect them.
You said they're magical, did you not?
Most mages cannot detect what I can.
Interesting. She gets up, walks across the room, leaves through a couple books, grabs a tome, comes over, sits back down, places it on her lap, opens to a specific page, and then starts incanting a spell. After she's done, she looks over the objects and says, there's no evidence that any of these are magical, or any evidence that these are even chemicals, like chemical reactions, a degree of alchemy. That being said, what do they do? I need evidence.
This powder, when used properly, can be turned into anything. This liquid, the gold one, allows one who bathes in it to alter their form for long periods of time. This liquid heightens your ability to perceive, almost as if a drug with withdrawals afterwards, but heightens your senses to where you can anticipate those you know's actions before they even make them, answering your own questions before you ask.
No, I wouldn't ingest it. She looks looks back to Ophios, looks back to her.
If you drink it, it gives you an extremely... what is it? If you ingest it, it boosts your mental faculties incredibly, but at a cost, is what you're saying. She says, looking at the caution that Rena had said.
Yes, if you bathe it, it is better. Do not drink.
There's not much there to bathe in.
I merely could only take samples from the vials that I had.
You mean there's a whole pool of it? A tub?
Yes.
I need evidence. You're telling me that I can drink this, but do not drink it. You're telling me the powder is with expertise that I lack.
If you need evidence, you can search my mind.
One can fabricate lies so deep set in their own minds they believe them themselves.
You would find out anyway, and he pulls back his hood, but you can't fabricate this.
Oh. I did notice there was an illusion. I was curious as to what it was. And now I'm looking at you, curious at what you are.
I am what is called a Slacona, an enemy of the Lopers.
Go on.
We live in secret to destroy the Lopers, for they are menaces on the world, seeking power and control wherever they go. They are the ones that lead the Paradel on their conquests.
A simple transmutation spell would be able to alter the way you look above your shoulders.
What do you want from me?
Proof that there's a different form of magic that exists out there.
What of that chest in the corner?
That's none of your concern.
What if I told you I know what it is?
You've also told me that you know who Laszlo is, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Are you saying that's theirs?
It's none of your concern.
Would you believe Elijah? Or am I just wasting my time?
Elijah?
She doesn't know him.
Well, you imagine there's more than one Elijah in the world.
Elijah O'Houlihan.
Pearson,
It's Pearson.
Pearson.
or call me Mistral.
Mistral Elijah Pearson.
Yeah, Magister Mistral Elijah Pearson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was there with us when we went to the temple. He can validate what I say.
I very much would believe Elijah Pearson. He's earned every step of the way, each rank. Will Elijah Pearson vouch for you?
He will.
Please then. The clock is still ticking. Take your trinkets, go, collect Elijah, bring him back.
Rena, is there anything else that you think?
Well, unless she's willing to deal with the side effects of that vial. Which I suppose I did, so she could.
What
If she
about
wants
that
proof.
Loper skull? I imagine all this stuff is just trinkets to her.
Time to find Elijah. Let's go.
Unless I do my magics, and that doesn't necessarily do it either.
She needs evidence that it can be proven to not be magically placed. So she's unfortunately very keenly aware of how powerful magic can be because she herself is a powerful mage. So, you guys, unfortunately, it's one of those awkward, like, oh, fuck. But she hasn't told you no. She hasn't told you I can't help you. She hasn't done any of that. She just says, prove to me you're not lying.
How much time do we have left now?
All right, hold on. Instead of
52 minutes.
Instead of that, Ophios is simply going to say this. Why would I come to you? Risk everything. Risk my people. For anything. I'm at wit's end. I lost all that I had. I know not exactly who I was or who I am.
Desperation is a tool that some may use to their advantage. I instead guard myself from the chaos that it brings. I need proof. You bring me proof, I'll work with you.
Proof or someone's word against ours.
Elijah's word will be proof enough. Elijah's experience will be proof enough.
Fine. We'll find him.
In light of not wasting time, can Rena go and get Elijah and I stay here?
She says the seat is comfortable enough.
It's with your permission.
She nods. She looks at Rena and says, and points at a clock, because she actually has one, which is probably the first one you guys have ever seen. She points at the clock and says, when the small hand hits 8, that's when you have until. And then she gets up and she walks over to one of the desks across the room and sits at it.
All right, I'll leave.
You briskly walk out of the cab.
Yeah.
It's one of those,
quickly.
I'm not running.
Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll run if I have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, dimension door. Jesus.
I might. I might. But
That's
not
funny.
here. I'm going to wait till I get Elijah first and then Dimension Door.
Dimension door
Big
back.
brain.
Yep.
Yeah.
dimensionally, however distance you can at that time, but you can't like
Yeah.
you can't do it into the castle, and Elijah would warn you of that. Yeah, but
Just right outside the castle. Yeah, I would. That's what I would do. But I
So-
gotta find him first. So
So Elijah's just back at the apartment. So more or less, roll me a
Perfect.
Constitution check for your run.
okay,
Save, which is bigger.
save.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's technically, I think, 2 or 3 less than that because you're not wearing your armor in town, walking around chink, chink, chink. You know.
Oh, I guess not. Yeah.
So you would go and you'd run and pick him up, and Rena comes slightly out of breath into the apartment with you.
Lady Arsium, surely believe you. You gotta come. We gotta go right now. I have no time.
I was really worried something like this would happen, but didn't I give you a note? Did you give her the note?
I forgot about the note.
You didn't give her the note?
I
The note I
forgot about the
specifically
note.
left with you so you could give it to her to show that I had sent you.
Why would I remember the note?
I don't know, Rita. Maybe because that's the whole reason we got the note to begin with.
There was a
wondering
note?
why we had the note. I
didn't
forgot.
know
Okay,
about the note.
I forgot about the note. I would have given her the note if I had the note. It's too
Well,
late.
now I guess the note won't be convincing enough, huh?
I don't think so.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Wait, we had a note from Laszlo? Shit.
No, from Elijah.
Well, apparently, there's
Oh,
one
was it
from
Laszlo?
Laszlo too.
Wait, what? I didn't know we had one from Laszlo. It's in the
I have a
note.
note from Laszlo and Elijah.
So you
And
guys,
why would you send us to do this?
you guys
I
both
don't
go jog.
understand.
You guys
This
both
is what
go
happens
jogging
when
back.
I can't
I don't
remember
know.
shit.
Oh my god.
Listen, a lot has happened. Okay, I can't.
Both
It
con
has
save.
been a long time since then.
Both.
Why aren't you
con save?
dimensional dooring?
But
To get there faster.
Messy,
Yeah.
you have a advantage.
I do.
Yeah, because she got there so quickly. You have more time.
Oh, great.
Sick.
I'll go first if you don't mind.
Please.
Oh shoot.
Rena, your turn.
Pog.
Hell yeah! Reroll 1. Roll 2 ones. Oh.
No.
Okay, you guys jog back. You're gone for about half an hour, leaving you about 20 minutes left. You come back in. Rena's out of breath, but she's there. She's fine. She's just sweating. And Elijah's out of breath and sweating too, but that's because he's a wizard and old and very old.
I could have just flew to. Yeah, I flew us back. Save us some time. Would that work if I flew us?
You
fly?
probably wouldn't be so ostentatious in the capital city.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So you guys jog back.
I know we
and-
only have 30 minutes to get his memories back, but you don't really fly here.
Anyways, you guys go walking back into her room where she's been across the room and is clearly working on a notebook. The question is, Elijah, do you burst in? Do you gently walk in or do you knock?
Is the door open?
No.
Oh, then yeah, I'd knock for sure.
Without lifting her head up, she says, "Could you get that?"
Obvious. Begrudgingly, he's very annoyed and anxious and frustrated, and he's trying to not be violent, which is very weird for him. Walks over and opens the door.
He sees all the soft spots in her back as she's like writing something with a quill. He's like, there, or there, and there. I bet I can cut both those at the same time. Anyways, Ophios opens the door.
Ophios.
Rena's panting. She does that a lot when she sees Ophios.
I guess he would have stayed behind. Okay. She's in there, I assume.
I was hoping she would at least ask me questions or help in any way, but no.
She will put down her quill, stand up, and say, Magister Mistral.
Quiet. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
Pleasure to see you, lady. Just want you to know they did have notes from both myself and Laszlo to validate their story, but I guess they forgot about that.
Educations are hard to come by outside of Amalta.
Yeah, well, they did start a rebellion in Momley, so
And it failed, if I heard the rumors correctly.
yeah, I was agreeing with you.
And she says,
Elijah.
So you sit anywhere, or
please get comfortable. And she'll walk over and take the same seat she had before.
okay. But now we're all meeting together. How much time do we have left?
She looks at the clock and says, 18 minutes. Elijah, they're telling me stories about magics that cannot be detected, that are incredibly great in power, manipulating time and, what's the word I'm looking for? Space.
Yes, yeah, it's all true.
Controlled by a race of people called Lopers, countered and fought by a race of people. She looks at Ophios and says, called Slakona.
You told her. You know, he was worried about me telling the crown.
I understand. It's a little shocking.
Laszlo told us that you were going to see through it anyway, so I guess that's why.
I noticed the illusion.
Anyway, yeah, probably everything they told you was true. I don't know why they would lie or make up anything that I hadn't seen. But yes, there is a race of people called Lopers that are able to control space-time. We've been in their temple. That's how he lost his memories. Yeah.
He produced a few artifacts, announced what he understands their magics to be, including depth of perception, mutability, construction, and so on. Verify all of these.
Less perception and more insight, but yeah.
And these poisons, are they survivable?
Which the potions that he's the waters that he brought? Is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
You would see the waters. Not.
As far as we know, the clear one is survivable, but it will wreck your bowels. The more goldeny one I haven't seen used yet, but apparently they used to. Actually, they still do use it often to take the guise of others. That's how they appear to be paired.
You found this training facility, this temple?
Yes.
You've actually entered it yourself?
Mm-hmm. Twice.
Is this why you're so old?
Exactly why.
Elijah, were you busy?
Was I busy?
You weren't here for the meeting.
Oh, yes. I was waiting on someone to come from the crown. I was worried that if I was here, they would miss me. I need to speak to the queen, and I don't want to risk it, you know?
I understand. I could try to put in a word for you. I cannot guarantee that I can find an opening for you. In the meanwhile, if you're waiting for her, perhaps returning to what you were doing would be better than wasting your time here.
Sure, yeah. Octavia said the same thing, by the way, about putting a word in, but I assume the queen meets when she can.
You spoke to Octavius?
Yes, yeah, in great detail yesterday. 2 days ago.
What about?
This exact story. Although we came to you for help, and we went to him for advice.
If you please do me a small favor. My current secretary is a young gentleman by the name of Leo. If you could please inform him on your way out that I will be clearing the rest of my evening's activities.
Of course. And thank you for your time. I assume he's told you about his memories, right?
I seem to have my hands full. One more thing before you go, Elijah. Are you going to be returning?
Returning here?
You've taken quite the leave. Some believe that you're going to utilize all your saved up leave time to get you through effectively until retirement. Are you going to reconscribe, or are you going to retire? Understands that while the decision may be heavy, the work that you find before you might be different in the future than it was in the past. Please enjoy your evening.
Thank you. I have much to consider, and I hope he's not too much of a handful for you.
No,
and he'll
he
stand up
shouldn't
and
be.
do a little bow or whatever, and make his way to the secretary to relay the information about her schedule, and go home to sit on the couch.
2.5 men. Oh man, I only missed the intro.
Oh, thank God.
You know, I'll just do it.
Oh no, went straight to ads. What the fuck?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I got time to get snacks.
Men, manly men.
How much time do we have left now?
All I know is I wish I had control of the Zoom call so I could kick Scott out.
I know.
I hate that show. I've seen like 2 episodes ever, and I was like, nope. It's such trash. Anyways, so what was I saying? So she looks at the 2 of you and says, it seems as though we have an occupied evening.
You know, this would have been a lot quicker if you would have just listened to me.
I'm going to take that as I'm going to take that response as gratitude.
She'll shake her head at Ophios. She'll be like, no, no, just.
She looks
Anyway.
she looks at Rena and says, I imagine the 2 of you are rather close.
We've been traveling together for quite some time.
As far as you understand Ophios, how much of his memory do you believe he has?
Just a small portion of it, bits and pieces here and there, seemingly coming back to him at random times. And then again, I don't know how much of that memory is fully coming back to him.
You say coming back at random times. Are there triggers?
Well, one in particular that seemed to have a strong tie to, I guess, a long-term memory. Something to do with his family.
How long have you been traveling together? More than a year?
Oh, how long has it been?
Yeah, about
a
a
couple years?
Yeah.
Okay.
About less than 2 years, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Probably close to like a year and a half.
Are you close enough that you'd be willing to share your memories with him?
Yes.
Raw.
Yes.
If there's a chance that you might lose a small fraction of your memories, would you be fine with that? A small fraction.
Yes.
She looks at you, Ophios, and says, seems as though we have a donor. I will take her memories, I'll copy them to the best of my ability, and place them in your minds. Hopefully, your mind will be able to rearrange the perspective and recall them as they were, triggers, to your own memory. If not, they will fill in the gaps. You'll remember much of the time that you spent together with Rena, and hopefully that will help to populate your mind with all the memories that you were missing. More than that, there are other remedies that will help you to just recall things as it is. Before we go and do the more blunt force way of utilizing Rena's memories to help you out, I'm going to put you in a state of meditation, give you an opportunity to heal your own mind. Are you familiar with how to meditate?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes. Yes.
Are you a practitioner of magic?
Yes.
Good. Come with me, you can use my private study. She stands up and starts walking out of the room.
The show's way better than 2.5 Men.
He's gonna simply say,
You know what? The show is 2.5 Men. We got Scott, Tyler, and Messi.
Ophios would be asking the question of how much of his memory she would also see.
Me or him? Or me or her, as
Her.
in Lady Arsium.
Both, all of the above. How much would of my memory would become all of their knowledge?
Wait, how much of your memory will become Rena's knowledge?
Hey, yeah, how much of my memory would possibly go in Arena's head, and also how much would Lady Arsium be able to see of my memories? Because he has concerns of what happened.
She says none. It's a one-way transference.
Understood. Do you think it would alter who I am right now?
It would make you recall who you were.
Would it be like a past life as the way it has felt when they've come back?
She shakes her head and says, That's a very introspective question. I have never experienced it. She opens the door down the hallway to the room that she was leading you to. And you can see that this room is much smaller than the other one. Despite being in a castle made out of stone, this room is round. It's a round room. In the center of the round room, you can see there is a pool of water that's inside there. You can also see off to the side, there's like a little bit of a mat that sits. There's a whole bunch of candles. With a flick of her wrist and a couple of small words, all the candles in the room light up. She says, "Please undress. Place your clothing over there." She gestures to another corner, like where there's like a little table for you to sit to put your stuff.
Ophios transforms into snake form and slithers out of it and transforms back into his normal form.
She looks. She actually raises an eyebrow at that. Looks over at Rena to see if there's any shock on her face. There's no shock. She looks back at you and says, "You might want to fold them."
He doesn't know what that means.
Typical teenager.
He's just like throws them.
Like me when I take something off a shelf at a store. Uh-oh.
Rude.
Oh, Akla's about to do some shit.
Oh, Aqua. Oh, no.
Oh no, here goes the trump
Oh
card.
God.
So anyways, so he picks up his stuff, does like a shitty fold, and puts it onto the shelf, and onto the table that's over there. And she says, "If you could step into the pool."
Honest question.
She nods.
I know not if you know the answer, but which form would be best?
I don't know. I am not a shapeshifter myself.
I'd say whichever one comes more naturally to you, Ophios.
Both do. One is
I would
older
suggest
to me
starting
than the
in
other.
your humanoid form. And the reason why I make this suggestion is because your humanoid form, I know you can breathe.
You know I can breathe?
Yes.
Okay. Very well.
Okay, I think I did it right, Josh. She gestures towards the pool and says, "Please step in."
He does.
Gently lower yourself so you're lying on your back and relax every muscle. Are you familiar with how to swim?
Yes.
This is what you call a dead man's float, some would say. Relax every muscle. Rena, his giblets are there. Relax every muscle. Just like, the visual was there for everybody. Relax. We see a snake. Relax every muscle so that you are.
Specify to me specifically. What is that about? Go on.
Because if I said it to Shinny, she'd get raunchy. Relax every muscle so that you are nice and calm.
Scott, can you roll for hot on Lady Arceum?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we need that.
I feel like it's already enrolled before. Joey, please verify. So, the pool is filled with an incredible amount of salt. You should be quite buoyant inside of it. And you're able to float there without even trying. Close your eyes. Start breathing deep. As my voice cracks. Deep and rhythmic breaths. We're going to give you some time. She gestures for Rena to walk back through the doorway.
I will go to leave.
And she walks out with you and shuts the door behind Ophios. I imagine instinctively as the door shuts, he kind of like blinks open his eyes for a second. The room is complete darkness. Does he have dark vision or just low light?
He has dark vision.
Okay. The room is complete darkness, but that's okay because you can still see inside of it. I think yours is infrared vision, right? So it's color patterns. So it's like reddish.
Yep.
Yeah, or dark blues right now, or whatever. So, anyways, so she shuts the door, leaving you inside complete darkness. It's also very quiet inside there, like one of those things where the door shuts, and if they're having a conversation or walking away from the door outside of it, there's no sound. As a matter of fact, you don't hear any sound from anywhere inside the castle. It's deafeningly quiet. It's incredibly dark. And the fact that you're floating is very strange. Almost like you're floating. Not like I'm floating in water, because like you can feel yourself being buoyant in water. You are perfectly steady floating. Roll me a Constitution save.
Not 20, 22.
Oh. You're able to breathe in the various toxins that are inside this room. And I understand that you have poison immunity. You're able to breathe in the various toxins that are inside this room. And even identify the fact that there's a funny smell to them. You think that the candles that she lit are laced with something. Something meant to allow the minds to relax. To almost breathe it in, to take it in. Sort of the flaws with being immune to poisons is you don't get their benefits or their penalties, right?
Yeah.
So is it burnt toast? It's weed. Call Mike. Mike who?
Mike Cock. Oh! Please don't kick me.
We all knew it was coming too. Ah! He never learns, does he?
I think he enjoys being put out of the classroom.
I think he likes it because it's attention-seeking behavior, and you're giving him attention,
Right? Like he's like he's like that kid that walks to the principal's office but knows that the other kids in class happen to look up as he's walking by, like no, and he's like, yeah, this guy. All right. So, you guys are what's the word I'm looking for? You guys are, sitting there. Sorry, she steps out of the room with you, and she turns to you and says, the candles in there have a chemical laced inside of them. It's going to assist with, opening his mind, allowing him to recall things that he may have forgotten.
Sorry, I was muted. I know that he's immune to poison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These likely won't work on him.
Why is that?
The candles, I mean. He's immune to most poisons. Or
How?
I mean, I don't know how it works. It's just part of his well-being.
It's a racial thing.
I suppose, yes.
Give me a
Doesn't
moment.
seem magical.
Give me a moment to think on this.
She's
You know him
okay.
far. Yep, she's just literally staring off.
Stood there. Okay.
You know him far better than I do, obviously. Do you think he's going to be benefited by floating in his humanoid form or by floating in his snake form?
Well, from what I know of saving his life the first time around, he was in his snake form. It seems to comfort him. Or at least it's the form he takes when he's more vulnerable.
All right. I was hoping a simple transmutation to turn him into a human or some such would help to remove his immunity. Instead, we're going to have to do something a little bit more powerful.
Hmm.
Would he be willing to let you drug him?
What exactly are you going to do to him?
Inhibit his body's ability to respond to poisons.
And how long does that last?
A day at most.
I suppose if it's just for that.
That's the intention. I'm trying to assist here, of course, and I'm trying to do so without harming your mind.
Why the secrecy? Why have me do it?
If I told him I'm going to poison him, he probably would not feel very comfortable. And considering he can, in the blink of an eye, turn into a very large snake, and I am familiar with how quickly snakes can move and the strength of their jaws, I don't think I want to be at the other end of that. You, however, look like you've been bitten once or twice in the past. I'm sure you would be more capable of handling.
Not by him. But no, he's much more intelligent than you think. He would understand. But I get it.
How long has he been wearing that headband?
The one that conceals his face?
The one that increases his mind's capacity.
Wait, do you have that headband?
The music isn't done.
Oh.
It's just very quiet at the moment.
Headband of Intellect, I do.
Oh, that one was more recent, wasn't it?
It was after we got out of the vault, the prison, the place.
The gate.
Gate, that's the word.
Yep.
Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah. For a while now. A couple months? Several months?
Without that headband, we have a problem.
Why is that?
My modifier goes from a 4 to a -1.
Oh my god. Why?
You had mentioned him being smarter than I realized, but I think I know exactly how smart he is.
Okay then.
We actually have tests in Malta, specifically designed to show, specifically designed to trick students. They answer a specific way. It beguiles whether or not it more or less lets us discover whether or not they're using such a means to do well on their exams. 2 strikes and you're expelled, of course. You're willing to give him the paste then? Betrays.
Yes.
Thank you, betrays. Good. Follow me back to my office. As she heads back in there, she goes over, she grabs a jar. It's like literally has something, it's almost like thick, like peanut butter. And she'll actually grab it. And she takes like this stuff. She like will take almost like you can imagine she was eating something in this office not too long ago. It's literally a piece of bread. She tears off a piece of the bread that she had with her meal that she hadn't touched. Kind of like breaks it in half and scoops a good portion of this paste onto this bread. Again, imagine like a thick scoop of peanut butter being put on a piece of bread. One of those, like a scoop so thick you'd definitely be like, for a bit, you know what I mean? Like
With
you were
no
a dog.
water.
Well, he's in water, right?
I guess, but he can't drink that.
Very salty water. Anyways, so and she hands it to you and says, "Please get him to drink. Please get him to eat this. After you've succeeded, you could just return and relax here for some time."
And it'll wear off after, you said, an hour?
The paste
Or a couple hours?
within a day.
Oh, within a day. Okay. All right.
You walk into the other room. Ophios, you hear the door open. You see Rena come walking in.
That's certainly. Oh, he would keep his
startle
eyes
him.
closed, and he would just simply say, "That was like no time for me to do anything." And then he'd open his eyes. Oh,
It's just me. She realized that, well, I realized that whatever she was trying to do here might not have an effect on you.
The candles.
She nods.
I was aware they smelled weird.
Apparently they're supposed to help. She's giving me something as she holds it up so you can see it. To allow you to feel the effects of that, I suppose. Though it does block your poison immunity.
Do you
But
trust
just for
her?
the day. She doesn't seem the type to do anything off the course, so to speak.
Yet they
She
have
seemed-
creature killers as a part of their society. Oscar told us of that. That's what he is.
She's spoken to Elijah, though. If anything were to happen here, I doubt that he would.
And did she say anything of me?
Of what?
Well, she seemed taken aback about my abilities before in my face.
Not so much that. She's just asking me questions about you and trying to find the best way to go about this. I don't get the sense that she's doing anything cruel. Do I? Should I roll for that, Scott?
I mean, no. No, you don't think she's doing anything cruel, no?
All right, he'll do it. He'll take the paste.
She'll hand it to him. And then she'll go to leave.
Is there anything to wash it down with?
Unfortunately, no.
He kind of chuckles as he swallows it whole, just like throws it.
It's nasty.
Unhinges his jaw. Just,
Yep.
Okay.
It's nasty. So,
Snakes don't really have a tongue for taste. It's for smell. It's kind of weirdly different. Works in two ways.
As she leaves, she'll just say, good luck.
He won't respond. He'll
She closes the door. And I'll head back to where Lady RCM is.
Okay, so you 1 second. Just making sure everything's good. Sorry, so you my apologies. Go walking back to where she is. She says he took it, correct?
He did.
You're welcome to relax here if you'd like. It's gonna be in there for a few hours. Did you need rest?
No. I'm well rested.
Then feel free to relax there. If you're looking for something to read, you may select any book that doesn't seem to if a book feels warm when you touch it, don't touch it.
Got it.
And then she goes back to the desk where she was when you walk back in and sits down and continues to work. Ophios, you were actually given 2 Winifred's wisdoms.
Oh my god.
Sorry, 3. 3 of them. Funny enough, you were going to make 1. Sorry, not 1. Sorry, you were going to make 2 intelligence checks.
Well, I guess this is what I'm using my wisdom for, so might as well use them. So, 2 intelligence checks.
Yes, sir.
19.
Okay.
23.
All right. So, 19. Did you want to luck either of those?
Both. Can I choose which luck goes to which, or is it the same order?
It would be the same order. So that's going to be a 20 and a 26. Ophios, you're going to be able to recall a lot while you're inside here. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. This is meant to be, there's actually a spell that exists inside Pathfinder. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a first level spell that allows you to remember things with a +5 to any knowledge checks, and above a certain caster level, +10 to any knowledge checks to recall things that you know. This works very similar to like that, where literally while you're here, any even shred of memory that you have is something you can kind of expand on. So if you kind of remember like the smell of a food that you like, by just kind of like thinking on it, scratching at it in your mind for a good like 5-6 minutes, you keenly remember as though you were actively smelling it right now. It's like it's an instant thing, like when you took that Loper drug before, right? This is like you scratch at it for a while, and eventually it kind of like comes forward and it's fully like you can visualize it like it's there, right? And then the fact that you're inside this like weightless pool, because it's so much saline, like it's so salted, this pool, it doesn't give you the feeling of floating. It gives you the feeling of being suspended in zero gravity. It's dark, especially if you close your eyes, right? And then there's like that funny smell that comes from the candles that kind of is designed to wipe and blank out your mind. Anything you choose to recall, you can feel it. You can taste it. You can smell it. You recall it very, very, very well. You remember Ka. You remember those lessons. You remember Yondis, that fucking sandwich. You remember so much. With these two successes, one of a 26, the other of a 20, I would say that Ophios has almost all of his memories back. Sure, there's some details that he's missing. If he were to spend a couple of days here, he'd probably be able to recall everything that's missing. You know what I mean? There's little tidbits here and there, finer details that will be missing. You know what I mean? And anything that happened while he was an egg. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to recall that because he's a fucking egg. But he's able to recall almost everything, almost like it's anything that's locked deep down in your actual DNA. Like anything that you experienced, it's able to be pulled back up. And so I'd say almost all of his memory is back. 90% of it, 95% of it, somewhere in that range. Cool. Eventually, you kind of like will have, what's her name? Lady Arsim would stand up and say, I believe he's had enough time if he hasn't had his mind collapse into itself. Please, let's go check on him. I'll allow you to open the door.
I go to stand and go to the door.
Before you do that, what were you doing in the interim? Were you reading something? What were you doing?
She was probably just reading whatever books she had. I don't know what like kinds of books she has around, but she would have picked up something that was seemingly interesting and just reading that.
Sure.
I really want Raina to roll like D100s to find out which book it may have been.
Okay, that works. What kind of book?
That's a thing, Scott.
I'm sorry, D100s?
Yeah, because I imagine that room had a lot of books in it. Maybe D1000s. I don't know.
I mean, Love on the Ice Wall would be great, but like you said, it was warm, right? Who said it was warm? It's a magical book. I can't read it.
Wait. What about that book about Lady Aravel?
I have one, but I mean, if I noticed any
would
that
she have read that one?
Maybe.
How about this?
But she was also reading that like on our breaks, like on our travel.
Rita, name of the wind. Rita, if you roll me a D100, please.
Okay.
The first person in chat to roll a D100 that equals a 23 can choose, as long as the selection is not over the top silly. Because that's something that Rena would actually read. We'll let them have fun for a minute. So, anyways, you Rena.
I rolled a D4.
Well, you know, Joey's not the brightest. So you guys are you go walking in and you open up the door.
Okay.
You were abruptly pulled from whatever memory, it's up to you, Tyler, that you were having at the time that all of a sudden Rena opens up the door to the room. The first sound you've heard that wasn't locked deep in your memory, right? The first light that you've had, aside from ones that you were recalling, right? The first smells that have changed. The first gust of wind that you felt as the door opens up, the pressure changes. So it's jarring pulling you up. Please, go ahead.
I imagine the way Ophios remembers it is like backwards from his most recent memory that he can recall, working backwards. So the memory that he is recalling when this happens is the first town.
Oh no.
Not the barbecue.
Yeah. So when the light things, it resonates with the fact of fire, and it resonates, and there's an interesting response for Ophios. There are tears in his eyes. Well, there would be if he was a snake.
So yeah, I'd open the door and come in, and I guess notice that and just say, "Are you all right?" And maybe reach out to help him out.
Fine. Knowledge I wish I had when I was younger makes me look at something differently.
So did it work?
I remember our first meeting. I remember our town. I remember Yondis. The man who hunted us. I remember even when I was sick and couldn't find my way. I remember Snaga. I remember as much as I could think I could. I remember who Ophios was and who Ophios is and who I am now. And they're different. I'm sure there's more that I have not recalled or can pull, but I know enough. I know we must kill the Kringle.
Does Lady RCM react to that at all, or no? She's just standing in the doorway.
Lady RCM just stands there. No reaction on her face. She's letting you two have your moment. She's not in the doorway itself. She's behind you. She's letting you two have your moment.
Oh, okay.
And Snaga rolled a 23.
There it is.
There you go, Joey.
Saga's choice.
There you go, Joey.
What was I reading?
Can I just say, Josh rolled a 22,
Oh no!
and then he rolled a 28. So he was the second and third closest to 23 out of the whole chat. It was funny.
Lady Aravel, Vigil book.
Bible class.
Apparently you're doing Bible study.
Thanks. Dang it, Josh would have picked 50 Shades of Grey. Man, you were one away.
It sucks to suck, doesn't it?
It's okay, because I was doing Bible study instead of 50 Shades.
Her
Anyway,
hand grazed over 50 Shades of Grey and grabbed the Bible. Way to go.
what is wrong with me? Just-
And Ophios would even, and at the end of it, the last part he would speak, the part where he said, "We need to kill Krangal," would be speaking in Sloko.
She'll
Basically,
nod.
remembering that he taught her.
Well, I
The
can retcon that, huh? So she doesn't hear it?
Well, I was going to have that be kind of that way anyway.
Lady
so.
RC wouldn't be able to understand it anyways.
But it's more or less.
What is it? Tongues cast on her at all times, right?
But all I'm saying, well, that's a tongue that she wouldn't have known of. Do you have to know of the tongue to be able to interpret it?
No, but don't worry about it. Again, she wouldn't have it and cast it all
Okay.
times.
I mean, it's just one of those things to where it's like instinctually he just relates to it.
So she'd respond, she'd nod to that, but then she'd say, I'm sorry it took so long.
What took so long?
Getting you to this point.
Information comes as it does. I do know we do need to go back and visit that place we were before, where I was brought back from being an egg.
She nods again.
Lady Arceum, thank you.
Do you believe you have all of your memories back?
As far as I can tell, I imagine there's more that could be unlocked.
What's
But
more with feeling?
We can continue the procedure if you would like. Not like this, with the additional one.
Scott, what you had said when we were talking, you had explained earlier that I felt that if I had more time in here, that I could just recover them. Would that be something he would be aware of?
I would say he's smart enough. Yes, he would.
I do not believe it is worth putting Rena's memories at threat. I imagine if I were able to do this more while I'm here, with your allowance, of course, I could recover them all.
I would have no problem with your utilizing this facility. But as much as I'm willing to aid the two of you, I expect recompense for my assistance.
Do you want to be able to know of the magics that I know of?
The location and the details that you have of these facilities.
Would you require something like that every time?
She raises an eyebrow.
Anytime. I don't know how many more times he would have to come back, Ophios, but I meant every time that he comes to use this place.
You're welcome to utilize it until you feel as though your memory is fully returned. Let's say 7 sessions. Not including this one.
If I am to share with you that information, as opposed to something else, I would want to know why and what purpose it is that you have with this place. This place is a danger. A place I would not want to go to again, and yet have gone twice. This is a place that alters you, and one in which is very revealing of what Lopers are.
I understand. I study and catalog many different types of magic. It is what I do. It's my profession. It's my responsibility. This magic will be used to further understand the world. And apparently, other worlds. And perhaps in studying how it is that they are able to manipulate time and space, I can help to produce an aid to you in your conflict.
I would hope this magic is not one that is used, particularly the liquid in which they are able to hide. There is much to be discussed, and there's a level in which these things scare me.
What scares you?
Unless you encounter a Loper in combat yourself, it is hard to explain.
I hope to never have to do such a thing. So, allow me to research them. Allow me to know the extent of their power, and allow me to give you what boons you need to succeed. You say that they control the Paradel. The Paradel are my enemies. We have a mutual enemy. So, by circumstance, we can be allies.
What's to say their nature in which they strive for power does not become yours once you have access to this magic?
I have access to many magics. I don't use them.
Do you teach others of certain magics and the ability to use them?
We learn a Maltese magic here. It's clean.
If Elijah trusts you in that fact, I will leave it to him. In the meantime, I can aid you with that chest over there.
What do you know of that chest?
Rena, may I?
Yeah, she'll hand it to you.
We must do this in another room without risk of them combining.
She raises an eyebrow.
This happened in the Time Temple.
I believe it was combined after. I believe it was combined after it was left here, correct? It was.
Correct.
Yes, it was.
Correct.
She says, is that why it got larger?
Suppose so.
Yes.
A new compartment appeared inside of it as well.
I imagine that would be the same.
Let's go in another room. She says, please, to my library. And then she leads you out of that door and into another door because she has her meditation chamber. She has her study. She also has her library. And she leads you into another room. This room is a fucking library. And it's like clearly sectioned and cataloged in whatever fancy format she uses. There's a lot of books all over the place. It is well stocked. Just like Messy's well stacked. So anyways, you guys go into the library and she gestures towards the center of the chamber and says, I imagine you need just think of it.
And he does, and I imagine it appears.
She'll walk over and lift it. Curious. This is a different admixture.
Say again.
Curious. This is a different admixture.
So it's a different like color and mixture?
Yeah, correct. Yes. So you asked that like different color and mixture. She says, yes, you have significantly more dark in yours than you have light. Also curious. She actually goes, because it was opened up, right? She actually, from the top of the thing, she grabs a small letter opener stuck into the top of it. It worked. She pulls it off.
Of hers? This is hers?
Nope, yours.
Ours?
Like stuck into the top of this. So you open the thing up, there's like a letter opener stuck into it.
Yeah. So I imagine you put that in the chest you have here.
Yes. You see how the mixtures, they don't no longer swirl throughout the entire chamber. There's this middle spot that it looked like a mirror at first, and then I realized you could reach through. I didn't know if it went somewhere else or what it was. So I took a letter opener and stabbed it in to the roof on the other side. And look at this. Your chest is the other side. Stay here. She walks out of the room and goes into her study and goes over and she opens up her chest. And through the center, you guys are actually able to see her looking down or up at you as you guys are looking down or up at her.
Ophios will immediately say, can you hear me? Very quietly so that it's not going to be heard through the other room, but just can be through the chest.
She says, obviously louder than you responded. Could you repeat that? But it sounds gargled. Could you repeat that?
Can you hear me?
And you can imagine her saying, can you hear me? On the other side, right? And she nods. Indeed. Indeed.
You can come back now.
She holds a finger up, saying for to wait a moment. And she walks across the room. And she picks up the book that Rena had left there that she was reading. And she walks through. And with a very small amount of additional pressure, she drops the book through the hole. And on your side, you see it into the air over you. So like, oh, and you have to like reach out and catch it. I'm sure everybody here has played Portal before.
Oh, I didn't mean to hit that.
We have a chest portal, treasure chest portal.
He grabs it, but like crinkles up a ton of the pages and whatnot, and like half rips one page. Whoop.
It's reading that.
Hey, if I rolled a 1, it would have fallen into one of the two sides.
Yeah,
It's equal to love on the ice
expecting
wall.
that. Does she come back after that?
After she says it, she like looks a little shocked at it, and she closes the chest, to which you guys see the lid on the other side, the same thing you had seen before. And like, and then she walks and about 30 seconds later comes back in the door that leads into the library.
Were you able to reach into the sides and pull objects out?
I was.
Well, you've taught me more than I knew of this chest just now.
She says, well, that doesn't surprise me. You know that each of them leads to a different plane, correct?
Not necessarily, but we gathered there's a stronger plane and a seemingly darker one.
Could you perhaps tell me why Rena got imbued with cracks of light after reaching into a light side twice?
When certain spells are incanted, their magic comes from elsewhere. It's one of the ways that magic works in this world. The magic comes from elsewhere. If you are healed through healing magics or drink a healing potion, it is infused with the power of, and she gestures towards the light side, this chamber here. It heals your wounds, but you're only meant to contain so much vitality. If you were to overfeed a goose, its stomach will rupture. Imagine that nourishment in you, the goose.
And the opposite?
It is where life goes, or at least the antithesis of. Both are dangerous. Both are incredibly dangerous.
Which side did we see Ilan jump into?
The dark. He tried to jump into the light and he fell into the dark.
I thought
I'm
it was the
not gonna
opposite.
say
I thought
anything.
because he was a healer, he tried to go to the dark and instead ended up in the
He
light.
tried to go into the light and he fell into the dark.
Okay.
She says, have you procured anything from either of these?
Ophios pulls into his pockets and the sponge and the seed.
You produce a sponge and the seed. She looks down at them, and then she takes a step back and says, hold still. Do not move. Do not move. And she immediately turns and walks out of the room.
What is the what's the impression I get off her?
Fear.
Oh god.
She walks out of the room. She returns about a minute and a half later on. What does Ophios do in the interim?
He's holding as still as he possibly can.
Okay.
He's been carrying this thing with him for the longest time now.
In his pocket.
Yeah.
Just a couple days.
She
Right?
She comes back and she's holding what's effectively like a mason jar. And she goes over to the hand that you have the sponge in, and she says, gently place that inside of here and be as careful as you can possibly be.
He obliges.
Once you put it in, like she's holding it sideways, so you put it in, she very slowly lets it roll to the bottom and then quickly puts the lid on and screws it shut. As soon as she screws it shut, she places it down on the ground and starts marking the ground with like runes and whatnot, like she's going to do a spell. She steps back and incants a spell. She then
Hold on. What do you think this is?
She does not. She ignores you for the full minute or so it takes for her to do the entire thing. After she's finally done, she'll pick the thing up and say, this glass shall not be shattered by anything but adamantium. Or perhaps Aurorum.
What is that?
Life.
I sensed it was alive.
Life. A lot of life. How do I explain this? Have you ever been sick? I imagine you have.
Ophios can't. Well, yeah, Ophios
No, yeah,
can't
you
remember
can.
the distinct time, and it'll be like An infection, yes.
Infections, disease. These aren't malfunctions of your body. These are maladies that occur when another creature, a creature so small you can't see it, finds itself into your body and wreaks havoc on the various systems therein. That contains innumerable life. So small you can't see it, but so great that it fills space. An incident happened not too long ago in a lake to the south.
We saw the lake.
That, yes, we were there. Not when it happened, but we've seen the dead lake.
The entire lake is dead.
Yes.
Everything in it died from disease.
You're saying this is disease.
I'm saying that every organism in that lake died within 48 hours.
Because of this. And she gestures at the sponge.
She slowly nods.
Ooh,
That's been in my
weird.
pocket for a while.
The fact that it hasn't ruptured is simply because the one time I made you make a save, you succeeded, and the rest of the times you didn't get into any scenarios where it mattered.
Oh no. Oh my god. Wow. We just been chilling the whole time, like, whatever, it's a sponge, I guess. Like, oh,
It's
God.
funny because Ovios thought it was the seed initially, and then he's like, oh.
So she says, that, on the other hand, gesturing towards a seed, is life. Or I should say, I can return it. If you place it within a dead thing temporarily, if you place it within a living thing, it can suffuse it with too much life. But more importantly, it is a seed of new life. I have a handful of them, or had a handful of them, transported to that lake. I'm hoping to rectify the mistakes that have happened.
So these are common, then?
She shakes her head and says, I've been experimenting with this chest for some time.
Interesting. You said into a dead thing?
Question.
She, ignoring your question for a second, she, looking to Rena, says, yes, if you put it into a corpse, the corpse will return to life.
But not in the same
As
way
it was.
as it was before?
She clears her throat for a second. Clearly is about to divulge secrets, but doesn't seem to shame she's doing so. She clears her throat as she's like weighing the option, decides, of course, to move ahead with the idea of explaining to you. I place it into the mouth of a dead dog. When the dog returned to life, I called its name and gave it commands it knew in life. It knew its name and responded to the commands.
So it's a seed of revival, would you say?
Temporary.
Ah. So then what happened
My apologies.
to the dog?
Eventually, the borrowed life expires.
How long?
From what I understand from the 2 experiments I made before I decided to start saving them, the larger the creature, the shorter the time. I imagine more seeds could make it last longer. Perhaps indefinitely.
So-
Interesting. I imagine you have more that you can research aside from the ones that you sent, because anyway, I have thoughts of my own with regard to something this could be useful for.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
I said he basically was saying, I imagine you don't, do you have more that you were studying? And then he rambled on in his own train of thought of thinking of something he could find this useful for.
Yep. So you ask and more than a study. She's like, I did study a few artifacts that came out of both sides. Yes. These are the two that you've procured. There are others in there as well. Draughts that appear much like a potion that you could purchase in an apothecary, and one that does the opposite. I imagine it might be more beneficial to someone else that is looking to take life. I am not. As I said, it is the antithesis of, so I suppose it neutralizes whatever life it touches. I have not tried combining them yet. I'm not sure if they just annihilate one another or if there's more of a reaction that happens when done so. A few other small things as well that the DM is trying to look up as we speak. The link is opening, just waiting for it to load. And there you are. The last thing I was able to discover inside there was a no material that I pulled out, but almost like something that stuck with me. It was for a short period of time, I wasn't sure if I was alive. I felt so suffused with the dark energies that come from the plane of unlife or non-life that I thought for a moment that I myself was not alive.
How did that result? By you putting
My arm into
reaching
it.
into that side?
Yes, and I tried to restore my life by drinking draughts of healing that I had already produced through Maltese mages. And they burned. They hurt. They, for lack of a better term, were killing me.
Are you saying you're undead now?
Eventually, its effects wore off.
I imagine that would have been useful when the dead were walking in a deer.
Perhaps.
Well, we have no need for that. She points to the jar.
I do have... I imagine there's much more I could help you with or aid you in.
I have a team.
A way in which you may be able to help me.
Looking for more handouts?
No. I have the ability to detect Loper magic that you may not be able to detect as seen by the artifacts before.
How keenly can you detect these magics?
Quite.
Do you have those artifacts with you still?
Yes.
May I have them? 2 of them.
I did collect them for that reason, yes.
So, she actually, when you said, she says, for me to study indefinitely.
For a Malta to study. I had faith in Elijah that we had made plans while at the temple to come here. I had collected these knowing that there would be somebody here outside of what is the Arcane Congress and powerful mages of that possibly could help decipher what all of these are and how they work beyond what I can recognize and understand. Seeing as you called them trinkets before, I imagine you don't see the magics as I do. I
do not. I want to test your theory of keen recognition of its power. She's going to take the different artifacts you give to her. She's going to, without you being able to see, select a number of them behind her back, to which you are going to cast Identify, and are going to be able to do 3 attempts, keenly identify, which you don't even need to roll because you know them well enough. You've studied them for so long. Keenly identify which hand has which objects each time behind her back. Keenly, no question. And she nods and says, you do have a talent. How is it that you procured this talent?
As far as I can remember, it was innate.
How is it you intend to assist me with this? fucking guy. No, you don't even understand. There's this goddamn minstrel that comes by my window every night trying to... One second. She grabs a book, walks over to the window. Fuck off! Throws it down there. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was your book.
She's like, it's fine. You hear the guy, "Milady!" From down. I only wish to serenade thee.
Says, his name's Joey. He's the most obnoxious cock. Anyways, sorry. And none of that happened.
Perhaps there is a way you can figure out how it is that I can tell. How my magics work. Anyway, I see it as a potential use in being able to identify where the Lopers are for us to stop them in their conquest and their task. They do everything for power and always strive for more.
I'm just going to be... I'm just going to say... Fortune's favor to make that canon. Sorry. That's... But whoever does the Fortune's favor can name the character.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry. Back to the actual important shit. You want me to experiment on you, then?
Not experiment on me. Perhaps there's a way that observation and detecting what I'm... Perhaps I can help you unlock the ability to do it. I know not. I've never been able to, but this, of course, is hard to say whether it was from birth or whether it was my training, as once we are born, we are forever trained in my society, in my people.
Then I'll require a pint of your blood.
I will oblige.
She says, not this evening, though. You've been through a lot. You must get your rest while you're feeling well. We can do this tomorrow.
I will ask of one thing. This was a high risk for my people, for me to show my face and reveal myself in such a manner to a high society such as Amalta. We strive on the ability to slink in the shadows and be not known.
I don't intend to share any of your secrets. Nothing that she said, I don't intend to share any of your secrets. You have your meeting with the crown. That's your responsibility.
Much obliged.
I think the three of us are done for the evening, and truth be told, it is late. It's nearly 2 a.m.
Thank you again.
I appreciate your help.
And as a rare thing, you do have my trust.
She nods and says, I'll see to it that I don't lose it. The two of you know your way out?
If my meditation served me
figure it out.
well, he puts a smile on his face and walks out.
And you guys are able to leave. Okay.
Cool.
So, you guys return to Elijah. Elijah, you had word from the crown. She'll meet with you in 3 days' time.
I'm gonna watch a lot of 2.5 Men. I got 3 days to binge the newest season. Okay. Yeah, when they get back, I'll relay that, and then I guess we'll wait.
All right. I would say during the walk back, Rena, Ophios would appear as his normal self, but also still quite different. Like a perspective had changed.
She noticed this, but she won't say anything unless you talk to her first.
He won it. It would just be one of those things that it's just noticeably, it's almost, the way I would describe it for those that might be more interested. Ophios is back to being Ophios, but he has a different perspective, having lost his memories and how they came back. It's like, the way I think of it is, it's like he watched a television show that told him everything about what he had done, but it's still different than if he had actually lived it, because the body is not the same. But the mind remembers all of those things. It's like a past life. And there's a perspective on it of the fact that the memories were remembered in reverse. In the fact that he remembers the stuff that he was wiser and more well-witted and well thought out about than before the stuff in which he was reckless and barbaric. So the perspective of the bad things that he has done is quite different than how he viewed them if he had seen them in the order in which he had done them.
And like I said, unless you said anything, we would just go back to the apartment.
Yeah.
And fill Elijah in. Seems he was able to get most of his memories back.
That's wonderful. I'm glad she was able to help you.
Yeah, next time you go and see all the futures, perhaps reach further than what you did the last time when you passed out on the floor in that temple. He's joking.
Yeah, I didn't have much control in what I saw.
Either way, Elijah, you're a good friend.
Well, while you were gone, the crown did come. They said the queen wouldn't be able to meet with us for another 3 days, so we have a little bit of downtime here to kill. I can show you around if you'd like. I know we've been cooped up in the house waiting, but now that we have a date, at least we know we can be out.
Perhaps with that information, we can go find Rayren's brother and retrieve the sword that I have.
Ah, yes, he's south of here in a town called, and we can head there on the way out. When we're headed back south.
I will say,
actually, it's only a day's travel each way.
It'd take us a day to get there and back, so we could do it in time if you wanted to travel there. Completely retconning everything. What'd you say? Sorry.
In the morning, it is late, and I'm quite tired from reliving a lifetime.
Oh, yeah, that's sure. I mean, if you're not up for the trip, we could always again do it on the way out.
Weren't you wanting to revisit?
Hmm?
You said Lady RCM said something about another 7 days.
Yes, that's true.
Ah, so we'll be here for another week?
Well, not unless we do the other procedure.
It's not worth risking your memories, Rena. With the amount that I've gotten back, this is adequate at the very least. I do owe Lady RCM some information on some other things. And perhaps we will be able to further understand why I'm able to detect lopers, and perhaps help your military in being able to help us find them and locate them as well. There's much to be done here, but also, is there a way that we can have Rayren's brother come here? I'm sure Hansa would like to make sure that that sword ends up in the proper hands.
I mean, theoretically, yes, I could call in a favor or order him back here, but to do that just to get some equipment that doesn't seem part of Paradel's jurisdiction, part of Amolta's government's jurisdiction.
If it aids in the war against Paradel, I don't feel it is an abuse of power, do you not?
Some would, and I would get some flack for it. It's just a day's travel. We might as well. I mean, come on, you can get up early.
I also owe some blood.
Huh?
My blood. I'm not killing anybody, Elijah.
you'd be full of blood by the time we got back too, right? I mean, is there
I
a
would
deadline
prefer to
for
give
blood?
it to her sooner rather than later.
Okay, well, how much blood?
A pint.
That's not much. I don't know if you could do a day's travel with it though. Scott, can I get some horses from the?
Yeah, without even trying.
Oh well, I mean, you wouldn't
But
walk
it's
much
it's downriver anyways, so you just take a raft.
you wouldn't walk much because we'd be taking a raft down south anyway. So, be a lot of rest on that travel.
If we plan on spending more time here, I imagine it makes sense that if the queen speaks to us earlier, we stay here for 3 days and head down there. I worry that Rayron's brother will move on is merely the thing. So, do we send a letter or head down there, or this is your place? I know not how your society deems to work. And Rena, do you have any thoughts or perspective? I imagine I would like to explore more myself. Being cooped up in one place reminds me too much of my childhood.
Yeesh.
If you're not wanting to travel, yes, it's a risk that we miss him.
When the crown tells you they'll see you in 3 days, they don't like to change the appointments. I think we
Fair.
should be fine.
Are you
Then let's
comfortable
head
with
down.
us going alone?
I'm not sure how well you'd be able to navigate without my
I
rank.
meant you and I.
Oh, without Ophios.
Hmm.
Ah, yeah, that makes much more sense. We could. Although it is Ophios that paid for it, right?
It's up to him. How soon do we need the weapon?
If we are going to fight Lopers anytime soon, sooner rather than later would be great. Especially if there's any way you may be able to improve it or do something with it, or anything.
All right.
Maybe with the stuff we're helping the Maltese with, maybe they can alter it and aid it. I know not.
Then why don't Rian and I go in the morning, and if you feel like you're up for the journey then sleep on it and let us know. All right.
I imagine Ophios goes off to like another room
Yeah.
Ophios curls
know.
up into a snake and goes to sleep
right
Yeah.
there.
in the bed or
In the
wherever
microwave.
he's been sleeping.
Microwave.
He finds one of those more hot rocks from where the sun's been hitting a lot, and that's where he decides to rest.
It's not even inside. It's outside.
Oh my God, Lundane rolled a perfect 18.
Well, Lundane is sexy as fuck. You know, Elijah can also go by himself. Rena can stay here with Ophios.
I don't know what use I would be unless he's willing to do what I said.
Well, what use
Which
are you
he's
gonna be
not.
with Corvain as well? You gonna go punch him in the face?
Yeah,
You need the muscle. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
it's
useless.
honestly of like, how are we going to go about getting this weapon? Would it just be Elijah's position?
Literally go
be
to
able
him and
do it?
say, "Hey, you need to give me that. I'm a Mistral," and then he'll be like, "Oh, I guess I have no choice," and then he'll give it to me. And I'm
I'll
like,
be the intimidating backup,
You'll
or
be
he'll go by
the-
himself.
You'll be the in case I happen to bump into him at a bar later and he's drunk and mad. That's what you're for.
Ah, got it. Perfect.
Like someone to, kind of help him get over his woes? Like a wink and a nod?
Like a bodyguard.
I mean,
Yes.
snakes are the kings of deep throat. It's their whole body.
So, Ophios, it's the morning. How do you feel about travel? Do you have any idea?
Do you guys see what Lundane says?
I have to tab over.
We have a note from Hansa.
I know we have a note.
Yeah. That okay. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
thanks for that.
Just another note.
Oh
No,
Yeah.
I remembered that one because that one was given to me.
We'll take the note from you before we go, please.
I'm not gonna be the note carrier
I
anymore.
mean, yeah, if it's one of those things where Elijah feels like he can get it without Ophios there.
Yeah, I could. Definitely.
The thing is, I'm sure the note says it's inscribed to Ophios, and if Ophios isn't there, that's kind of weird.
Do we have any other
but I
notes?
have
Let's
the
assess
note.
our note situation. What notes do we have currently?
I don't know. I have a G note. Where's my guitar?
Oh God, not this. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Didn't the
Hansa?
what's her name? No. The Kersellen's friend, the Ruby. What is her name? Help me out
Ravina.
here.
Ravina.
Ravina. Didn't she give me a letter for somebody
Oh yeah.
that I need to deliver to somebody?
And
I was
Yeah,
like,
we got
I'll
a lot
just
of
give it to this
letters.
person. She's like, yeah.
is it Arthur?
Arthur?
Arthur, who is supposed to be in the capital.
Here?
Arthur's from Valoran. Arthur's
Oh.
like one of the leaders of Valoran.
Man, we fucked up. We have so many fucking notes. Yeah, I
We
know.
need to give
Oscar's note.
Arthur.
Well,
Yeah, we
they
gotta
don't-
give Arthur one.
London, do you know what Oscar's note is? Because I
You
asked
guys
Will.
didn't like
he had
keep
no
a
fucking
note of
idea.
how many notes?
I asked Will what
sorry.
Oscar's note was, and he said he had no idea. And then I asked Josh if he remembered, and he said no, I don't remember. Can anyone remind me?
We are not a
London,
postal
if you know what it
service.
is, please tell me.
I want to wander and see if we run into a person we know.
Erwin's here too. What the heck? So much is supposed to happen in a Malta. I feel
Oh,
like
it's
we
just
were
the
like,
reports
oh,
of
we'll
the
just
crown.
push it
Okay.
off until we get to a Malta.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a report to the crown, but I didn't remember if it was,
It was-
something verbal he had told me or if it was a note. But if it's a note, then fuck, we're good.
It might have
see them in
been
3 days.
verbal, but I can't remember.
If it's verbal, no one remembers it, so it's gone. It's lost.
That's in the VOD somewhere.
I don't want to watch the VODs. to
Well,
find
there
out.
was definitively a note for Arthur. There's no question about that. And the note was for Arthur to read, not for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't open it. We're just delivering it to him.
Correct.
Okay. If what's
That was for her help in getting us to the
Ophios,
teleport.
Ophios is traveling with you guys.
Okay, yeah, I feel like we should
Okay.
travel, talk to the crown, and then do our fucking postal service, and then you get your rest of the memories back that we did.
Yeah.
You guys head down to Akatsia. It's pretty easy to get there. To describe this place, it's known as a
Well,
little.
could we describe it after a break?
Yeah, I kind of need to pee. We haven't
Okay,
taken.
we'll be right back. We'll be back for like the remaining half hour ish. All right, bye bye.
Sorry.